Yo, what's going on?
Yo.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Chucano podcast. Today joining us, we got Mr. Charly Rrock from RADIO La Chusma.
Hell yeah, welcome, Charlie.
What's up, dude?
What up, Trump?
What's up, guys?
How you doing today?
Good.
Chilling?
Yeah, chilling.
Of course, we got Danny, and we got Guy back.
¿Qué te pasa?
How's your guys' week? How did it go today? How did it go this week?
I had a pretty good week, man. It felt like a short week.
Yeah, I felt pretty good. So what we want to get into today, we want to get into your story, Charlie, man. Now, you play keyboards for RADIO La Chusma. You've played with Afro Taxi. You played with Ralph the Mouse. You played with the Blue Throne Poets, an older version of our band back in the day.
Angel Syndrome.
Angel Syndrome.
Blue Throne Poets, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So how did you get started, man?
How did you like playing music or
Yeah.
in general? Well, man, since I was a kid, I always had an instrument, lying around the house, guitars, pianos, and I didn't really start getting seriously into music until I was in, I guess, 5th grade. Joined orchestra.
Yeah.
And then band in middle school, and then I actually started playing in front of people at church. Started as a church musician, learned a lot there, different styles of music, and then after that, started jamming with friends, and then joined my first band, which was serious band, which was Afro Taxi.
Hell yeah. And that was with Rufus and Gabe?
Rufus, yeah, shout out to Rufus, Gabe, Adrian.
Adrian, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
What type of music was that?
Man, it was kind of like I guess like a funk mixed with rock and some kind of like Spanish influences.
So it was very upbeat, very...
Yeah, it was upbeat. Yeah, it was very upbeat. We had a few songs.
Would you consider like kind of like a fusion type thing, or...?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Good musicians. Rufus is an awesome bassist.
Hell yeah.
Gabe, awesome singer, guitar player, and Adrian too, great drummer. And then that band, Rufus and Adrian, ended up moving to Austin.
Yeah.
And
how long did that group last?
I joined when they were already around for a little bit, and I was with them for maybe like 2 years, I think. And then I left that band, and they continued without me and stuff.
So you started, where did you graduate at?
I actually graduated from a private school called Life Center Christian, and but I went to Coronado for like 2 years.
So you've typically always been like one of the West Side musician.
Yes, sir.
For a long time, and we were talking about it. I think on one of the last episodes that we never really got to hang out with the West Side musicians. Like we just knew the East Side ones. It wasn't until like when you got me into Chusma that I started meeting all the other cats on the other side of town that have been doing music for just as long as we had.
Yeah, there's a lot of good bands and venues out there too. When I left Afro Taxi, I was doing my own thing for a while. That's how I met you, actually.
So tell that story. Yeah, tell it.
So I used to play different bars on the west side. One of them was Hemingway's. I don't know if you guys remember Hemingway's on
Yeah, I remember Hemingway's.
Yeah, so they would have on Wednesdays, they would have like...
remember Chuck the Broder right there? We were fucking taking a couple shots with Chuck the Broder.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. So,
I remember Jake told me he wanted to make a shirt that said I party with Chuck the Broder, dude. I'm like, that'd be fucking dope,
Yeah,
man.
Chuck's
Remember?
cool. Yeah,
And
Chuck's
Chuck
a
was
good
like,
friend.
"Hey, man, that'd be badass."
Yeah, Chuck's a good friend of mine. Shout out to Chuck. Check
Yeah.
him out. But so anyway, so I was playing at Hemingway's, and I was doing Kings of Leon. Which one was I doing? I forgot.
You somebody?
You some
Yeah.
Sex on Fire?
Yeah,
Sex
we're
on
doing-
Fire. I was doing it on the piano, and I had my setup was I had a keyboard, and then I had my electric guitar and my acoustic guitar, and I would switch between instruments on both of them at the same time and sing. And this dude comes up, and drunk as fuck.
Who's this guy?
and he comes up, he's like, "No, bro, you're playing it wrong." In the middle of the song.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard this story. Right?
You know what? I think I
Keep
was
going.
there.
And then I
I'm
was like,
thinking about
and then
it now.
he grabbed the guitar and then he started jamming, and I didn't mind. I mean, there wasn't that many people, and it was he was holding his own and stuff. And then and afterwards, like my name's Jake, and actually Rufus was the one that had taken you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how you guys met.
All right, so this is how it started. Well, we met you guys, Afro Taxi, when we were playing shows together at Lucky Devils. I guess it was called Rods and Wheels at the time.
Yeah, I wasn't there at that time.
He wasn't.
I wasn't in Blue
Yeah.
or Angel Syndrome at that time.
We were playing out there, and that's when we met you guys, and we all started hanging out and stuff, and it was cool. And then one time Rufus hit me up. It was like a Saturday, and he was like, "Hey man, let's go catch my boy. He's gonna be playing acoustic solo at Hemingway's." So I was like, "Cool, man." And he's like, "He's gonna start like at 9 or whatever, but we can hang out, man, if you want." I'm like, "All right, cool." So we're in his little Corvette or whatever.
Oh yeah, he had a Corvette.
Yeah. And we go bar hopping and stuff, and you know Rufus, dude. Like, he likes the finer things in life. Like, so we're taking all these shots, and we're like at Hope and Anchor, and we're getting all wild with some friends over there and stuff. And then we go to the Garage Bar, and we're drinking with Tony
Oh yeah.
from Garage Bar,
Yeah, yeah,
R.I.P.
yeah. May he rest in peace.
We got another story about him later on. But good old Tony, man. So we were out there, me and Rufus, and we were drinking with Tony, man. And he was getting us all messed up. And then that's when it was kind of like already time to go and hit you up. So Rufus was like, "Hey, man, you're gonna like my boy, man. Like, he's a really good keyboard player and stuff." And I was like, "Cool, man." So we were all fucked up, and we go to Hemingway's, and like you're already playing, and I think you were playing Hallelujah, dude.
that was that was on the set list, yeah, for sure.
I think you were playing Hallelujah, and I'm like, "Dude, why are you playing Hallelujah at a bar right now? That's wild." And
I mean, I might have messed up the song. I don't even remember, but I remember you came up
I don't remember you messing up that song.
and you started
Oh.
playing electric guitar on it. And
Well,
then
Rufus was in the back, like, "Hey, dude, go help him out. Like, go do a song with him. Like, go do a song with him." Like, I already talked to him. I already told him to hear. Like, I already told him.
right.
Also,
And I'm
he,
like-
he wasn't belligerent when he went up there?
Who, Jake?
Yeah.
Was I think I was.
I think he was.
Was he,
yeah.
yeah?
He's being Jake. But it was cool though. I met him and stuff.
These
and
are
he's
back in
like-
the days when I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. You're
Yeah,
sober.
He used to he came and afterwards and he was like, "Hey, I have a band and we'd love if you'd come and whatever." So that's actually how I got into Angel Syndrome.
Yes.
So I had been doing gigs by myself for a minute. That's how I got the name Charly Rock. That's why I go by. And
Who named you that?
Charly Rock?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
So we.
I mean, like Charlie, my family calls me Charlie, and Rock just because I love rock and roll, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But people call me Charlie Chanclas.
So
I was gonna.
That's
I
your-
was just
that's
about to
your-
say that you're gonna have to get into
the Chanclas
the
story.
chanclas, dude.
Okay. So when I first rehearsed with Chusma, I was at Ernie's apartment. Ernesto Tinajero, the lead singer of Chusma.
Yeah.
And if you know him,
I could hear
you know
it
Ernie.
coming in.
Yeah, he's a wild guy.
Yeah. So he's like, "What do you go by?" I was like, "Charly Rock." I was like, Charly Rock, you're Charlie Chanclas."
Yeah.
And it stayed. To the
It's-
point where
it's-
people call me Chunk. now.
Chunk?
Yeah.
We call you chunks now.
I like that name. It's unique. You know what I mean?
Chanclet.
It's cool. You know.
You know what's funny is every time somebody calls me Chanclas, they look down at my feet.
They're like, I never wear
They're
chanclas.
like,
It's very rare.
he's not wearing chanclas.
It's very rare. I've never seen you. I've only seen you wear chanclas like a handful of times.
So for those of you that don't speak Spanish, chanclas is like sandals or flip
Flip-flops.
flops.
Yeah, sandals,
Which
yeah.
is funny. Shout out to my friends up in Santa Fe, Viento.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
yeah, his parents, Stan and Alma.
Awesome.
We played a show with Chusma out there, and they're such nice people. I always have us at their house and stuff. And Alma had cooked for us and stuff, and we show up, and Marco, who is the trombonist for
Chusma. Yeah.
we were loading some stuff, and he's like, "Hey, Chanclas, get this or something." And Alma, she's native. I think she's Zuni and Pueblo. She heard Marco call me Chanclas, so I walk in the house, and she was like, "Oh, Charlie Chanclas, it's very interesting. What tribe is that from?" It was like the flip-flop tribe. I don't know. I'm Mexican. I don't know.
God, dude.
But do you know what tribe you're?
Oh yeah, it's Concho.
Concho?
Yeah, Concho, and
That's deep in Mexico, right?
No, that's actually by like Delicias, Camargo, Namiquipa. That's where my family's from.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my dad's my dad's dad is down from Tabasco. So
Oh shit.
he passed already, so I never really got to know. But he's short, dark
Do
skinned.
you know? You know your
Like a
percentage?
little native Adele.
You know your percentage?
No,
No?
I don't. There's a big controversy with percentages and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people trace it to like their parents, like what quarter or half or full, and then there's the blood quantum, and that's a whole like mess of a situation. You have to really.
Well, that's a
look
legal
into
thing.
it.
Yeah, right.
It's legal, but at the same, I think like if you're brought up like in the res, then you have some cred to you. Of course, like being Mexican, we have.
Yeah, it's in our blood.
It's in
for
our
sure.
blood. I mean, we got to recognize it, even if
Yeah.
it might just be a little bit. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
what being Mexican is.
I mean, the worst part about it is that I would like to embrace mine, but I have no idea. Like, my mom has no idea. My dad, none of them. Their whole history has been taken from them. So
It was looked upon with shame
Yeah.
back in the day.
back in the
Derogatory.
day.
If
Well, yeah,
somebody
they-
called you Indio, it was a
Well, I
derogatory
mean,
term.
at some point they would call them mezclas, no? Mezclas. If mezclas,
Mezclas.
they were mixed with Spaniards
mestizos,
and
mestizo.
natives.
Mulattoes back in
Yeah.
the day. Yeah. But so, anyways, that's how I joined Angel Syndrome. Jake invited me to practice.
Wow.
and,
Sorry, I ventured on it.
No,
that's
that's
all
good.
good. And
That's great.
Yeah, I ended up meeting Josh and
Yeah, yeah.
Aaron, and we ended up just jamming and stuff for a while out here at Aaron's parents' house and stuff. He had a studio back there. It was pretty.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, these guys
Yeah.
are professional.
We helped.
we're going places.
Yeah.
we helped build that, dude. By the way, we helped build that shit.
Where,
Yeah,
where we
it's-
going, fellas?
Yeah.
To the toppermost of the poppermost. Yeah.
Yeah. So you join, and then Josh brings in bread, and then you're like, "Hey, man, we're doing a different sound. We're doing a different. We have a different lineup. Like maybe we should change the name." Do you remember that?
I remember, but I thought I don't know. I'm fuzzy on the memories because I don't know when
Do it
guys started jamming with us. Was that already Blue Throne? Yeah, it was Blue Throne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on a hiatus. I took a break. I told the guys, I was like, you know what, guys, take it from here. I need some time off. You know what, pick me back up in 3, 4, 5
Because
years.
you used to go to rehearsals. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were.
That's when I was considering coming back, but Jake had been begging me for a long time, and I was just
Yeah.
like,
I remember I
No.
You
I
begged?
googled Angel
Begged
Syndrome.
him.
I
Yeah.
googled Angel
Damn.
Syndrome because I was like, I wonder, like, I want to see if the band has any clout.
Is it
Oh
established
yeah.
or anything?
Oh yeah. Check this out.
So we googled Angel Syndrome and like, pictures of like kids that are mentally handicapped came out.
oh, no, it's
Disrespect.
an actual syndrome.
But it's a syndrome.
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
it is.
Angelman syndrome.
Yeah, it's an actual syndrome.
Yeah, so when you put Angel Syndrome, like, you get these kids that are
It
like,
says, like, did you
super
mean
happy.
Angelman syndrome?
No, it's it. Like, Google Angel Syndrome. I dare you. So, yeah, so I was like, you know what, like, there could be some confusion. And I didn't know that you guys were, like, an establishment, apparently. Like, I found out through the years that a bunch of your friends from high school and just people in the band scene here on the east side, like, Angel Syndrome was a really well-known band, And, but we ended up changing the name to Blue Throne Poets.
What'd you find on the internet, man?
About what?
About us?
He just told you.
No, he told
You
me the
found
story
more?
before.
About refresh my memory.
You're like, hey man, you guys played at Jaguars one time?
Oh yeah.
You guys did play at Jack's.
Yeah,
Did you?
yes,
Yeah?
yeah, I think I remember that.
You're like, you guys played at Jaguars, man?
Dude, I remember going to
Which is
Jaguars one
weird,
time.
man.
They
I
had
mean,
like
you
a
think
cage
about it.
fight thing going on with the chicks, man. I was tripping out. I was like, man, they have some MMA fights in here, dude, with the girls.
We played
funny.
a charity event for like the women's battered shelter, and we got a gig there. So we were like one of the only bands who have ever played in a strip club here in El
That's
Paso.
weird, man. I don't know. I mean,
There's another one, but I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna say the name.
Hey,
'Cause they made it all
speaking
big
of,
about it and shit,
of women's battered shelter, I bought this fucking shirt today that says, "Bitches be tripping." Okay, I might have pushed one.
is it a wife beater?
It's not a
Is
white
it a white beater? That would've
It's not
been
a white
cool.
beater. I mean, but I get it. Mentally, you mentally push their buttons or whatever, But at the same time, it has a chick falling, And it's kind of
Guys,
That's pretty good.
I thought about this the other day. I probably sure you guys don't know this. I played in a Spanish rock band when I was younger with fucking Vince.
Oh,
And I just thought
Band-Aid.
about it. No. We were called Nube Gris.
Nube Gris.
I didn't know you were part of Nueva Gris.
I was the bass player with Jonah.
Shout out to Chente and
Hey,
Jonah, man.
yeah,
The
yeah.
boys, dude.
I was just thinking about it because this one time we played.
Was Sam in the band?
Yeah.
I think Sam
Yeah,
was also.
Samuel.
Shout out to Sammy.
Yeah, dude. We played at that Blue Moon there was that Blue Moon party hall right there, right next to the movies.
Yeah.
One time we went up there and they were like, it was all rock and shit. And then we get up there all, cool. And I had barely started fucking with it, you know what I mean? So just playing little bass lines. But I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, that's funny, dude.
I did not know you were part of New Vigris.
I only played like
New
one
Vigris used to play with us.
I only played like 1 or 2 shows with them.
Who's that big Spanish rock band that used to play at this club?
Bajo
out
Cero?
here?
Bajo
Bajo
Cero.
Cero.
Bajo
Yeah,
Cero.
those are our buddies. Shout out to
Yeah,
Bajo Cero.
Well, they're on their like 5th name right now, aren't they?
They've
Or Transformation, or what is it? We need to ask them about the story behind all
yeah,
that.
they switched their name to The Cruel, and now they're doing English music now.
Yeah, it's kind of like indie, right?
They're doing English music, and they're it's like a little bit like indie Americana, but they just got a great sound, man. Those dudes,
Oh, yeah.
those dudes have been
Those are
playing
fucking
together as long as we have,
Didn't-
longer than we
Didn't-
have.
Didn't
They're
you
so
and I
nice.
go to this little bar right there on Zaragoza one time to go see them when they were still?
I've
on
seen them
Bajo
so
Cero when
many
they first
times.
came back out, but it was a really small stage, but the sound was so full.
Yeah.
There was like 3 or 4 people in there because it was a new bar, but it was bad. We were like,
There's-
damn.
We've had
so
those shows
many-
before. We play like to fucking our friends and shit. Those are the like, they're fun though because it's like practice, but at the same time it's like, man, this sucks. We've been working, so hard to play.
You
know,
moved all this
Yeah.
gear just to
I think that's good when you look at a show, especially if people don't show up. It's like, well,
It's humbling.
we got rehearsal tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
A little leeway.
this podcast is just another attempt to try to get people to get to know other musicians here in El Paso, so that way they might be inclined to go check them out and
there's-
see what they're doing online and see what they're doing.
I was about
out
to
in
say
town.
that there's so many good musicians, and
Right.
so many good bands that have gone.
There really
Absolutely.
is.
You know, and
here
I
in El
mean,
Paso
like-
especially.
I remember about like maybe 10, 13 years ago, there was another band that was pretty good. They actually got a video on MTV. I think they won a contest on MTV, Low Luster League.
Oh yeah, those are
guys?
buddies.
I know at the drive-in had a couple videos on
At
them.
the drive-in.
Low Lester League, shout out to Hapa and Oki and them, man, and latest.
Yeah.
Those are our boys too, man.
Yeah,
Those
those
are fun
guys-
times, man.
Yeah, there's been a good amount of musicians here, and a lot of them go to Austin and they come back, or they
Yeah.
go to different places and come back. And it's cool when you see them and they rep Chuco.
Right.
And
Another one, Khalid
Right.
too.
When we went to go play in Austin and we hung out with Sabrosa, remember we?
oh yeah, man! Shout out to Sabrosa.
Okay,
Yeah.
man. Chris
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah. Chris,
My dude.
all of them, man.
I'm
Mike.
sorry about that Victor Ruben CD, man.
Oh, you
owe
know what? I
man.
always think about that.
Oh, it's a DVD. I'm sorry.
I always think about that.
You
But
just gotta get it on that.
Dude, every time I see him, man,
I know.
he
dude,
reminds me,
I
man.
won't,
I
I,
forgot
won't
about him.
see, I won't
Sorry.
see Chris for years, dude, and then he'll just show up and they'll like, for instance, they just came not too long ago. We played a show with them.
Yeah, man, we got a
But
chance to play with them.
They
It was
got,
cool.
dude. They literally, Mike was here for like a few months before they came, and they literally got on stage and they just sounded like exactly.
Dude, that's
and Chris, dude,
They
still,
really
I,
did, man.
I think Chris is probably by far my favorite reggae. The way he jams, dude.
Oh, okay.
I love his legs, dude. When he's kicking his legs,
Yeah, he has the best
different.
style. Yeah, so does John Steady. John Steady fucking goes hard.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
man.
Shout out to John.
I don't know. John has some big feet. I'm just playing. It's just that John Steady always wears like white skating shoes. So I'm like, damn girl, like, and then that fool's like a size 12, no?
Yeah.
I've always told him, dude, like, you can at least you
Never
can
look
be
at his feet.
discreet with a
I'm
with
too
a
busy
black
looking at
shoe.
this guy's chanclas over there. honestly.
Hey, so maybe it's
Okay,
not. Maybe it's not time.
segue.
Maybe it's not time for that
Not yet.
story yet.
Let me
You're
feel.
not-
So,
Listen.
so you started.
It's a nasty story, man.
It's a good story.
Why
It's a
me to
fucking
bare
awesome
my
story.
soul on here,
It's a
man?
good story, man.
So you started jamming with us, Charlie. This was after Afro Taxi, and then taking a while just to play solo. Then you started jamming with us in Angel Syndrome. Then we went to Applebee's, and we had like a band meeting with everybody, and we changed the name to Blue Throne Poets.
Applebee's.
And then after that, that's when Brett and
Real quick.
Josh took off.
Why Blue Throne Poets?
I read this poem called God's Blue Throne. And then what I started thinking about is the poet is the ultimate artist, because that's just their thoughts. That's just the way they think.
There's nothing.
All of our thoughts are our art, obviously, but we take those thoughts and put them into music or video or some other platform to enhance it. Whereas a poet is like, that's
Stands
just
alone.
the way he thinks.
Yeah, he
Like,
stands alone.
so I decided to change our name to the Blue Throne Poets. You know, giving a shout out to the ultimate artist, which is a poet. You know, and we've always been really into our words and our lyrics and stuff. And the reason I thought about poets is because Charlie was reading a poet,
Oh, William Blake.
William Blake. And he had a really good name. Don't tell the wrong guy, because then guy's gonna want to
I'm
steal
gonna
it.
steal it, bro. I'll steal it if it's good. You know what I mean? But I stole one name from you, bro.
Give us.
It
one
was
name. And I fought for that name too.
it was off of there was Songs of Innocence and what was the name of the other collection of poems? Songs of Wisdom, I think, and it was Tiger, Tiger burning bright in the middle of the night, and I think I had suggested we come up with Tiger burning bright.
Yeah, and we were listening to a lot of his tallest lions at the time.
Yeah.
So we're like, Tiger Burning Bright would be a badass
Dude,
name.
I'm so
Man,
happy you
those guys are
introduced me
fucking
to
bad.
that fucking album. Do that. Oh my
Dude,
god.
we actually had a beer with
With the bass player.
with the bass player from Tallest Lions
What's
up
his
in,
name?
Yeah, he was telling me.
in Austin.
I met him one time through a mutual friend. What's his name?
Who?
Julio. It's Julio, right?
Yeah, the bass player.
Dude, he's really cool.
It was
But
cool.
I have a story about. I'm not gonna say it, but she told me a story about him. It's ridiculous. But he was a really nice guy when I met him. Like super cool.
What was the other name? It was Tiger Burning Bright.
And then Josh wanted it to be called Leviathan,
Leviathan.
but I
Sounds
thought
like
that was a
heavy
little too
band.
more
That's like
metal.
a
yeah.
heavy metal band. right
Yeah.
Leviathan's like a mythological creature.
It's in the Bible.
I think from the ocean.
Unless, well, I
Oh,
guess
I don't
so.
know.
I mean, I could see it in that like metal.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but it would have been kind of
yeah,
like,
are you guys metal? What the
In
fuck
my
are you
world,
doing here?
in my world, Leviathan is a fucking huge ship that devours whole planets, dude. That's my world of destiny right there, bro.
That's-
shout out to the
man, I
Destiny
love that
players out
shit.
there.
Can we not bring
hell
up your
yeah.
fucking home life?
Here we go.
God, this guy.
Dude, it was a true addiction, dude, that kept me out of trouble.
No,
man.
you're addicted still.
Dude, I was home playing video games and not out fucking partying and drinking. That's what kept me home, and that's like I'm happy, but that
He gets mad at work sometimes because
Yeah.
he wants to get out so he can go play his fucking video game.
Yeah.
I haven't played that game in a while.
I gotta
Yeah.
get
Don't
on.
fucking
I gotta
lie.
get online by
Dude,
4
I'm off.
o'clock, guys.
I'm off,
Hurry
man.
up.
Don't lie.
Am I on the wagon or off the wagon? I'm not playing it right now. I'm not. But yeah.
I have a save game from like Red Dead Redemption 2
Oh,
from like
dude.
a year and a half ago. that I have
You,
Been
gone
doing
back
this
to.
fucking-
you know what?
It's-
You know
it's
what?
good. but-
People tell me I bought my kid an Xbox 360. Right? That's all I fucking have ever had, and they're like, "What are you playing? PS 8,000 or Xbox 3 million?" I'm like, "Bitch, I got a 360." Like,
Those are good
I-
games.
I-
They got some good games.
no,
on
they
that shit,
do,
too.
they do. But I'm just saying, I'm just not the gaming guy.
I don't play
No,
games.
no,
I
you-
still play Super.
When
see?
when you were fucking, when I was playing video games, you were fucking, fixing cars and fucking taking shit
Yep.
apart.
I
You
can
know?
fix
Yeah.
the shit
No,
out of your car though.
I get guy though because I got into Super Street Fighter 4
Oh,
online.
dude.
Oh man,
Dude, your
that's
brother,
just a
your
dick
brother
too.
was
That's
bad.
that's rage right there too. Of
he ranked nationally.
Yeah, your
Nice.
I
brother.
don't know what he got, but yeah, he was like
just
disgusting.
Arcade was fucking awesome too. Oh man, who was your guy? Who did you go with?
When Akuma.
Akuma?
Yeah.
I like Akuma
Yeah,
too.
but no, but you know what?
he's
His health-
weak though.
yeah,
dude.
his
He's
health
fucking
goes-
weak as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you
Why?
gotta, but he's strong.
He's strong as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you know how to use him.
Hey, I hate you guys right now because I don't know what you're talking about, but I have something I wanted to ask you guys. If I wanted to start a members only for myself, or a fans only, or a premium,
I would watch
you
it.
guys?
I would totally watch it.
Would you guys buy it?
An
'Cause
OnlyFans.
there's-
You're
I
talking
was
Well,
about?
subscribed.
it's because there's
I was
girls
subscribed.
online where they're like, subscribe and they could see my ass all day. So
Oh,
I'm
fans only.
thinking.
OnlyFans.
So I'm thinking.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Oh.
there you go. I don't
Yeah, he
know.
knows.
Hey, dude. I don't
Do
know.
it,
I'm not-
dude.
Yeah, if you have Instagram.
Would you
everybody
guys
has
watch
an
me?
OnlyFans.
Would you guys
I
subscribe?
would not watch you. I would not
And
watch
if
you.
you did,
Answer me this.
what would you want me to do?
Harry Bagel.
I would not want you to pull your skin back. Harry Bagels either. Dude.
A Harry Bagel.
Like I'm gonna get on Facebook tonight, and I'm gonna take a picture of myself and my balls, but I'm gonna cover it with like a pretty sun or something,
Ooh.
like a pretty sun or something. Like if you guys
But
want to
like,
see the rest,
hold on, but you're gonna put like an
subscribe.
emoji, right? Or like a real,
yeah,
like pretty
like
sun.
no, like an emoji.
Are you gonna get like one of the
Because
fucking
you know how
magnets
the-
from your refrigerator?
Because you
and
know how
go-
the girls are like that, and then it's their tits, and then it's like two like flowers, and they're
Yeah.
like, subscribe to my premium. I'm gonna do that tonight, and I want all you guys to add me. Because if you guys start it, it'll be like a.
I'll have to create an
It'd be
account.
like
I don't.
Domino's.
I don't have
Well-
an account, so I would have to create one.
You
Yeah.
can hit me on
Yeah.
PayPal,
Yeah.
dude. I'm okay with that.
PayPal.
Yeah, you hit me on PayPal. I take the Cash App too.
You gotta do a special though.
I'll
Like,
tell you
1
what,
month
dude.
for like 50
I'll
bucks.
promote the shit out of it for you, but I'm not gonna watch it. I'm
gonna
not gonna
have
pay to
to.
see
You
you.
know
do
he's
it.
gonna watch.
You know what I
I
want
need
to
you
see
to
you do?
edit.
You know he's gonna watch
I
it.
want you to go, grab your skin, pull it up, and get like a fucking piece of fucking electrical tape. Just wrap it on. You know what I mean?
Tape it.
No,
Tape
dude,
it up.
You don't
So
kind of.
see-
You don't
I want you to
some
do the
unique shit.
guppy.
I
Do the
want to
guppy.
see. What is the guppy?
The guppy, you get the dick and you kind of just pull it and it goes.
with the urethra.
like it's peaking.
With the urethra.
All right, wait, but I'm gonna need your help, dude, because my first thing, my biggest.
Oh no, I'm not in it.
Hold on.
You're not gonna
let
get my
me,
help.
let me.
I'm not gonna edit your
you can-
videos or anything.
You can wear a mask. You can wear gloves. I don't care. but my first attempt is gonna be trying to blow myself. So I need you to pull the legs back for me.
I'll help you push him back.
All right, yeah, I get that.
Okay, guy, but I'm gonna get like
Son
this.
of a bitch on me.
I'm gonna get my
you wanna grab the
legs.
other?
Yeah.
And then
Right.
Charlie, you could guide it in.
All I ask is that you do not blow on the hole while I'm trying to suck my own shit, because that's probably gonna cause a lot of commotion. I'm gonna get the and then
You're gonna wake up.
Have you
sore.
ever considered yoga? Because you're gonna need to be a lot more
You're
limber.
wake up.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm gonna need you guys' help to push me to that limit. Because
Got you.
if I start my premium with that,
We'll rig some
guy
type
sucks
of
his own
contraption.
dick without removing
I'm
ribs.
guy. You're not guy.
Or
That's not
Yeah.
gay.
You
It's
know
not
what
gay
I
if you
mean.
suck your own dick.
No, I'm
no,
guy.
it's your own dick, right? But
He's gay.
He
It's like
said
a
he
dog
said
cleaning
guy sucks his own dick.
No,
and
like
he's
the-
like, I'm guy.
yeah, like the title will be
I'm not-
guy sucks his own dick. Hit the premium right now, and then it's gonna be me getting it. I don't want to do it because I need to.
Have
do
you fallen
something-
upon hard times?
Yeah, kind
Yeah?
of. Yeah, kind of. And mechanics, tattooing, all that shit. It's just not working
not
right
paying
now. It's
enough.
not
Yeah.
paying enough. Yeah, I don't want to go rob banks and shit.
We
you
should
know?
try that. I mean, the OnlyFans.
Dude, think
not
about it.
big fan.
How are these girls getting? I mean,
Dude, they're
I
making
guess it's
money,
ass,
dude.
There's girls
Dude,
that
they're
there's
making
girls
money.
that literally get up in their house, and then they put their makeup on and they put one set of underwear on, and then they start their shit, show it off, go to the restroom.
They actually
get
sell their
out.
underwear, like used underwear to guys.
That's so gross.
How
For
do
like
people
$50
even-
or
how do
more.
people even? I don't know. I'm
They
just-
sell them and shit.
This is a-
I don't know. I'll get over it real quick if I got a pair of panties. I'm just like, oh, they're nice. Whatever. I like you naked. Like,
unless they're like
You wouldn't sniff them?
yeah, I'll take a little whiff. You know what I mean?
And-
but
unless they're like-
I would feel like after a while. The
Have you ever
smell
sniffed
goes
them
away.
underwear? Some panties?
No, I got pink eye.
You did?
Would you like to elaborate?
All right. Why would you ask if he's ever sniffed undies? I'm
I mean,
pretty
like,
sure every
every
man
guy.
in the world has done.
And then
that.
you find out if it's for you or not. Then you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
you're like, well,
I
I
could
could-
dig this.
It's
or,
like a scent. That's what it is. It's
It's
a
like the
scent.
people who
It's
suck
like puppy
toes,
breath.
man.
If I could get puppy breath car fresheners, it'd be fucking on. I'd be
Oh,
like
dude,
the biggest
share of
salesman.
puppy paws.
Or the Doritos?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'd buy them. I'd be that guy. I'd order
That-
by
that's
the
an
bulk,
idea,
bitch.
dude.
I'd order
we
by the
should try to
bulk.
fucking capture that scent, bro.
You
and,
can't. You can't.
All right, so
We could
It's
try.
honestly titty milk.
So,
Okay.
so
Oh, we gotta go back.
yeah, we segued
Sorry.
Wait, well,
to Danny's Harry Bagel.
I was just asking if you guys would fucking subscribe.
I don't know if you.
It
got
was a
vision.
simple
I gotta- I
question.
gotta
Leave a
watch it.
comment if you'd like an OnlyFans from
We'll
Mr.
send
Harry
you a link.
Bagel over
We'll
here.
send you a link. Just throw your PayPal in there.
Let me know, because I got everything set up right now. I got PayPal. Got what else I got?
Venmo?
Cash App,
I got the
Cash
Cash App.
App.
No, I got some other shit. Oh, I
Zelle?
got
You got
Apple,
Zelle?
Apple,
I got
Apple,
Apple
Pay,
Pay.
Apple
Pay.
Cash.
These guys have been helping me out with the Apple
Android
Pay
Pay?
shit, so sometimes they'll send me some cash or Apple, and I didn't even know you could text somebody.
We'll
some money
even get you
really
one of those
quick,
credit card swipers.
but-
where
Yeah,
you
oh no, I
swipe it
can
on
get one of
the-
those little cubes.
What are those? The square?
The
What are
little
those?
cubes,
squares,
yeah,
yeah.
little square.com
Those-
dudes.
Those are cool.
Yeah, fuck it.
Gas money on the road, man.
Yeah,
yeah. But
I'm just saying, guys.
so what were we talking about before?
All right, so then after
We just
so
finished talking
getting
about
back
the
to
name
s-
Blue Throne Poets. Why
Getting back
Jacob
to the
chose that
name, Josh and Brett leave, and that's when Guy and Danny come back in. So now it's all of us.
Yeah,
It's all five of us.
That's when we did. That's when we were recording with Mr. Bobby.
Mr.
Mr.
Vavi.
Bobby, shout out
Yeah.
to Mr.
And
Bobby.
we did that CD release at.
Do you remember?
The
What's
pizza
the hold on?
Yeah.
What's the biggest memory you have
No,
about Mr. Bobby?
no.
Tell me the biggest
No.
memory.
Like a wow.
Tell me the
no,
what's burned into your mind.
Me and him
Tell
talked
me.
about it.
Tell me.
No, we talked about it, and I cannot.
What is it?
I cannot speak of it.
What is it?
No.
Tell me.
He can't say it.
I can't.
I remember.
dude.
Tell me.
All I can tell you is that no matter how much this guy would like, because Mr. Bobby's very forward, like, come on, guys, you're gonna ta right here. He would talk to us and he'd tell us over and over and over, and he'd be like, okay, but I was just focused on one thing and I couldn't. I was like, what the
Just
fuck?
don't even.
But that's it. That's it. That's all. That's as far
By
as
the
we
way,
can go.
who is Mr. Bobby, Jake? In case people don't know.
Mr.
Oh, he's
Bobby,
a wonderful man, dude.
he was
Great guy.
a recording producer for Juan Gabriel and many other people. He's got a lot of hits out. He's actually here from El Paso, Texas, too. We got a chance to hang out with him while he was recording the Reyleros del Norte
Oh, they were fucking
out there in
nice,
their
man.
studio. And we got to meet those dudes, and they
Oh,
were
we
really
got
cool.
to drop in on one of the rehearsals.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
pretty cool. Dude,
How cool
their
is that?
car collection. Man,
Dude, I
their
would have
tour
loved
bus-
to fucking witness that,
buses.
dude.
Well, remember we were all in our separate rooms around it was like a circle, and
Yeah,
then
the
they,
studio.
they just started walking through all the rooms. They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, ¿qué pasó? What's up?" And then they were like, "Hey, what's up?" It was really cool to me.
Yeah, they were cool guys.
So if it wasn't for Mr. Vavi, Mr. Vavi hooked us up with that, and we got to record in the Reyleros del Norte studio. Shout out to the Esquiveles and everybody. So that was a really cool time, man. We came out with a song called "That Girl Is Gone," and I remember in the beginning, in the rough mix, there was a little, boo-doo, boo-doo, and I never knew what that was. I guess that was one of your keyboards.
It went off or what?
Because the song starts with Charlie, boom, da, 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 dun, 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 boom, and then you hear. But I don't know what that sound is. I think it's you.
Maybe you just accidentally left something in there.
If you guys keep talking, let me try to bring it up.
All right. What was I gonna say?
Fans, only fans.
So,
No.
So that's when,
Oh, we're off that?
Guy joined, and then Danny joined.
Yeah.
Blue Throne. But what
Yeah.
what instrument did you join in? Was it
Guitar?
drums?
Danny
It
was
guitar.
guitar. Danny started with guitar.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah,
I've
'cause
never
everyone's-
played drums with
Yeah.
them at all.
Yeah.
It's a blur, man.
I'm trying to remember
It's a blur.
something about the studio that was really cool. Like, Jesus, I guess I can't remember.
The recording studio we played at, or the studio we used to practice
No,
in?
with Mr. Bobby.
The
Yeah.
Herrera studio.
Yeah, I was just thinking about something else that happened. It was really, I just remember we hung out a lot, ate a lot of pizza and shit, and
Yeah.
did our recording.
I love being in that studio environment. Man.
It
I
was
wish
so
we could,
nice,
you know,
dude.
It was cool.
do it
so
on the
nice.
regular.
I mean, it was cool that we weren't charged for it.
That's
Yeah,
true too. Yeah,
well, I
it
mean, he was
free.
trying to push us up. It's just, I mean, everything just fell through, I guess. But also on another note, we're off on Monday. I'm pretty happy about
Yeah,
that.
it's dope, man. Shout out to everybody. Happy Memorial Day.
Oh, so is there a Memorial Day show?
What's that?
Is this a Memorial Day show?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
we're gonna
Memorial
order
Day
that
show.
shit
I
up
was like,
on
what are you
Memorial
talking about? Where are we playing?
Right?
They asked me the other day. They're like, hey, my dad asked me. Hey, you know what? I'm going to hit you guys with a story then while you're doing that. My dad was telling me the other day, yeah, when I was a little kid, my uncle got a guitar and I used to jam with some dudes. And I'm like, you fucking never told me this? You used to have gigs with
Fumble.
It's a ghost.
Charlie. Can you help yourself over there, please? My dad used to actually play shows and stuff with some dudes. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
That's badass. What did he play?
Guitar. And then he said that he went in, and one of the main guys was like, "Can you sing, David?" And then he's like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead and play this song." It was like an oldie or whatever. So he said that the guy turned around and said, "All right, Alfred, whatever the fuck your name is, you're out. David's in." And the guy was all mad. No, I'm gonna sing. No, he was telling me the story yesterday. I was like, "What the fuck, dude? I didn't even know you played."
No dice, Chino.
I tried.
say what's right for the
I say what's right
silhouettes.
for the silhouettes.
And this ain't it. Let's beat it out of here.
Did you find it?
No, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't end up
What
finding
the
it.
fuck? That was
Yeah,
wow.
but
Anyways, yeah.
there were some good times there, man. When we had a couple of cool shows too, and then at the same time, so Blue Throne Poets is kind of fizzling out. Danny was still in Elotix. Charlie had recently just joined Chusma.
I parted ways with Blue Throne Poets. I don't know. We had just practicing had kind of become a little sporadic, and I wasn't really rehearsing the songs as much as I should have. And I guess we just kind of reached an agreement where Blue Throne was doing their own thing, and then I left the band. And
Well, you were touring a lot.
I
Yeah.
first I left Blue Throne without even knowing that I was gonna join Chusma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I started doing my own thing again, and then Mickey Gertz,
Yeah. Mickey and her ukulele.
Mickey and her ukulele, right? That's the name of his band.
Yeah.
I had met him through Mel
Sorry.
from the pizza joint, and Mel and Gabe from Afro Taxi. So we all used to hang out, and I met Mickey like that. And he knew I played the keys, and I got a call once or a text message from Mickey. He's like, "Hey, would you like to go on tour?" Out of the blue. I didn't know with who or when or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "All right, hit this address up, and just tell him Mickey sent you to play keys or whatever." So I show up off of
Damn.
Mesa, and I think it was Rio Grande, and I knock, and it was Ernie. And
Yeah.
I go in. I was like, "Oh, dude, I remember," because we had played some shows with Chusma back in the day. And he's like, "Here's a CD. Here are the songs." He showed me a few of the chords. He's like, "You got like, try and learn them in the next 2 weeks. We're gonna rehearse." And I think we had like 2 weeks or to a month to rehearse the songs. It was a bunch of songs, man. It was like a 3-hour set.
Yeah,
bro.
3 hour set, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boom, like I took off on the road with Chusma, and it was like, like ride or die. You got to learn, because I mean, we had practiced them, and when you rehearse, you guys as musicians know you can stop and like, all right, where did we do this? Let's try this this way. And when it was on the road, I mean, like with less than a month of songs, learning them under your belt.
Yeah.
You on stage, I think that's how you get better is playing live shows. I mean, you can practice a lot, but when you're forced especially when you're on tour. When you're forced to play these songs and you mess up, you pick up on that mistake real quick, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, next show, because you don't have rehearsal on the road. Next show,
Oh,
I
no.
gotta watch out for that.
You can
And-
fuck around in the van for a little bit, but it's not the same.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. So you gotta.
So how many
yeah.
rehearsals did you have under your belt before you actually started playing any shows?
Man, I think like we were doing like twice a week, so maybe like four.
Nice.
4 or 5, and then and I'm being generous. And then then we went on the road, and it wasn't a short tour either. It must have been like maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was right when Chusma, because I remember Chusma back in like 08, 09, like they were hitting hard, man.
Yeah.
They were
Hell yeah.
headlining these huge festivals, the Austin Reggae Festival. They were playing big shows and getting a lot of play, a lot of traction. I think even Playboy magazine interviewed Ernie
Dope.
and stuff at one
Dope.
point. And then that band parted ways, and Ernie regrouped with a whole bunch of different cats. And I was in that first regrouping and stayed with the group ever since. That was 2012.
Nice.
See, now,
So-
the reason why I say I think you were back in Blue Throne is because we went and played Side Pony Festival.
Oh, yeah, that was
Here
in
we go.
2015 or 2014.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was like 13,
man.
14.
But by then, I was already in Chusma too.
Well, yeah, I think you joined Chusma in 15 because you were already doing.
No,
Blue
it had to
Throne.
be before.
14?
I've like 13, 2013 actually.
I don't think it was 13.
Yeah,
'Cause
I know
2000
it was because my brother got to see me in Austin,
Well, 2012.
and my brother passed December 2014.
Oh yeah.
So I had already
it was-
been in there for a minute.
I
So
think
it was 2013.
Because 13, I think Dave Cat was still playing bass with us.
Right after he left, that's when I joined.
I don't know.
Oh,
it's
Dave?
fuzzy, but Dave
So
Cat.
and then what happened?
So we,
Wow.
So
we-
yeah, so I remember we needed a bassist, and we were looking for a drummer too. And Jake tried out for the band and stuff, and Ernie hired him on, and then Joel joined. And he's an awesome keyboardist,
Fucking
Joel's
salsa
an-
limon.
Sounds-
an amazing
Salsa.
musician, man. But yeah, he was playing drums for that time for Chusma, so it was like, and for a minute it was just you, Joel, myself, Ernie, and Marco.
Yeah,
That was the lineup for a little while.
yeah.
But then I think when we went to the Side Pony in Bisbee, who was in Chusma at that point?
Jelly was also. It was all of us and Jelly.
And Jelly, right?
Jelly
Yeah.
was there. Jelly. I
I
don't
Yeah,
think
think
it-
Jelly was
there.
Jelly was there because she brought in Joel.
I don't think it was when
No,
we
but
we
for the
gone.
side
It
pony-
wasn't when we had gone.
Jelly
No?
went
How many
to-
times did you guys play
when
that
we
festival? Because when
Twice.
we went, she didn't.
She wasn't there.
We went and played in Bisbee maybe like 4 times
Oh,
when
no,
I was with you.
twice, I think. I think it was just twice. Once, and then again for the Side Pony.
That's like the coolest fucking town
Or
ever,
twice.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
really
a crazy
is.
little town.
Fuck,
It's
it's
awesome. Yeah.
It is so like peaceful, man. Like
It's a hidden-
super
shit.
chill,
gem.
little hippies everywhere.
I was after
Dope
we
as
finished the
fuck.
show. I was partying right there that strip where they have all
Why
the
you looking
bars and
at me that
stuff. And they had this dude comes out and he's like they call it the rock and roll graveyard.
Yeah.
Because apparently a lot of the studio musicians and engineers and stuff that used to record back in the day in Los Angeles, they all went to Bisbee and like and retired there and shit.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's crazy. It's a cool little town.
So
A lot of crazy stuff in that little town.
Okay.
but
Oh yeah, well,
I don't know.
you care to share with us, Charlie? What crazy stuff happened?
You motherfuckers.
So what happened out there, dude?
Go ahead.
Talk
and,
to
I
us.
want.
Talk to us.
I've been
Talk to
telling
us.
Danny to wait on this
I'm
story
gonna
Well,
wait.
man,
I
you
want
know-
you to put your
because
thing
I
in
wanted you here
first.
for this story,
Let's
man.
go and let's do like you narrate your side.
Well,
of
what
it, and
happened?
I'll narrate
What
mine.
happened? How did we get there? Do you
Oh,
remember?
okay, yeah, no,
Okay, so it was November. We had played a show with Blue Throne for my birthday at
It was,
Rigby's.
It was for my birthday.
Our birthdays.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. We're November.
Yeah, because we always put our birthday shows together.
Yep.
And then after that, we're like, we're going to go play in Side Pony because I think we already had 3 shows lined up for Chusma. We had an extra one, and Ernie's like, hey, if you want to take your band, you guys could do that other show. So that's why Blue Throne got to go with Chusma. And then, so we go up, we stop at Danny's house, we pick up all the gear and stuff in the van and all that. Then we all take off from there. We get to Bisbee. And again, we're in a situation where we're staying in like an old school brothel
Well,
kind of
let
setup.
me clarify that. So those buildings are super old. So I think the bar that we were at was St. Elmo's, and that bar was established like in 1889, 1884.
Damn, girl.
The one that we were,
Right.
the one that we were at, the one that's underneath, right? Because we had the, we went up that little.
It was the one with the
Staircase.
stained glass. So there was those buildings are old because Bisbee used to be a mining town. So
Yeah.
that's like the main street, and apparently like it's one of those buildings where you walk in and there's like stairs and
Long
then there's
stairs.
that go up and then there's rooms. It's like a balcony with like rooms. It's like
Yeah,
like
that's
a
where we were.
hotel.
Yeah.
And at some point it used to be a brothel, but when we were there, it wasn't a brothel.
No. It's just part of the historical
I
And
wish.
it was like
society.
apartments.
I'm just kidding. I wished.
But it was all set up like that. And then, so we're there hanging out. Our buddies followed us from El Paso, Frank and
DZ.
Yessie and Christina and
Fucking
Josh.
Josh.
So they were all there, and they were like checking out our rooms and stuff like that. And they were up there, and then there was like a community kitchen and stuff like that. So we were all hanging out there,
That was the after.
and you guys were
Oh,
getting,
no.
like, we were just like getting ready, like we had to go play a show. So
Oh, that was before.
because we had played a show as soon as we got there. We played a brewery. We played on the outside in the
The
backyard, in
little
the back of
hotel?
it, which is
Yeah.
like a big desert patch back there.
That
We
was a
went and
cool
played
show.
there.
Do you know what I remember the most? I
Here we
remember
go. Yeah.
going to that. I don't know if it was in the same place that we were at, but we went to a room where there was a bunch of people there.
No.
And we're having drinks and we
No,
were
no,
playing
no.
songs for them.
No,
and-
no, no. Okay,
That was a
this
different
is no.
place.
This is going with that story. What happened was, and I'm not gonna say the story, but I had to go.
No, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Hold
you-
on, Josh and
I'm just telling you
and
what I remember.
Josh and them had their own hotel, so that's when we went over there. Me and you, because
Yeah.
I went over there because I didn't want to deal with what Charlie dealt with. So I went over there. You came with me, and then we found those.
What
other
did
people.
Charlie do with?
Just tell him, hey, just tell him.
Hold
what
on. So
happened.
was this right before we
So
got?
I'm trying.
No, we're getting there.
See,
We're
like,
getting
it's
there.
good having you guys because you guys jog my memory because I can only remember bits and pieces.
Okay, I'll just tell you this.
Do you remember that? Do you remember what I'm
Well, I
talking
do
about? Being in
remember.
that room with those bunch of people
No,
there.
I
Well, I
It
remember
was-
there was.
It was me and you, and then Charlie did come.
It
'cause
was
Josh
Hernandez was
and-
too because he had.
Well, check it
Oh,
out.
there
That
you
was
go.
across the street because it
No,
was
it
like
was a little farther down.
yeah,
And they had the
and
newer
you-
hotel.
You had to walk up and they had like a
Yeah.
little studio. And
All
they
I
had
want to say
art
is
and all
like that
stuff.
was the perfect fucking scene for like a slasher flick. You know what I mean? It's just like a
Yeah.
bunch of people
Yeah.
just lured us
Dude, it
into
was-
a room and they were just
They,
gonna.
they were
fucking-
singing weird shit, man.
Dude,
they were
I-
all
Either
Either
they're
way,
gonna fuck us or they're gonna kill us.
There
One of the
was
two.
something, bro. I remember
Yeah.
being so fucking paranoid. I was like, God,
I think they
damn,
were on
something's gonna happen.
shrooms,
I
No,
was
dude,
doing anything.
they were old white hippies, dude, and they gave us
Nothing but hippies
everything
there.
we wanted, dude. Like eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want. We're getting fucked
Very
up,
nice.
and they were like, "We're gonna go to this show right now, Radio La Chusma," and I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah.
we're with them right now. They're gonna play like at one something." They're like, "We're
Dude,
gonna go down there right
It
now."
was such an awesome crowd because
Sure
we
enough,
finished
dude.
playing that show and I
That was
remember
a-
like I
that
heard
second show,
somebody
man.
bumping like music like todo that just bumping drives up and it's like they're blasting Chusma, dude.
Oh,
driving
shit.
through the street.
That's
just
dope.
boom, boom,
Was it
you know?
cruising or was it
Yeah, I think it was- I think it was-
Adelante?
I think it was cruising. And they just kept hitting repeat on it, dude. I
fucking
remember
dope.
in
I
a
re-
convertible. Yeah.
I remember when all the bars closed, those sheriffs came out and everybody's still partying and they started, "Get your asses up in those rooms."
Okay,
You
so
know,
guys are
we're
out
in
in
the
Arizona,
room,
man.
and then what happened? Like, I remember.
Well, I remember.
No. We walk
So-
into the hotel because they're like, "All right, here's your guys' rooms. Go ahead." At that moment,
Hold on, Charlie.
Well,
Charlie,
so-
tell
so
your
check
story.
it- so
Tell your
check it
story.
out.
Tell your
It wa-
story.
It was we were staying like in some commons, so it was like people that were renting those places. I remember the manager, whoever was running the place, told us like, you guys can stay here. They allowed you guys to stay here, but don't make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Because you know there's people sleeping or whatever. So we go up and there's the communal kitchen, and then there was like, I guess like a communal bathroom that people used to shower.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
use
There
the
was like one
dude.
bathroom. Yeah.
And I really had to go to the bathroom. So I mean, like, I went to the bathroom,
and then
and then you know you courtesy flush,
yeah,
you know, and I think we had tortas earlier in the day.
we had tortas on the way over there.
No, that was the way
that
back.
on the way
Yeah,
back.
we had
No, we had the pizza at the
Oh, yeah,
little
that's
truck
right.
stop because I remember
I remember
Salsa's
that.
like.
That's the
I
shit
don't
I
remember
remember.
what we-
Yeah, we stopped at that little truck stop right there right after Las Cruces, and then Salsa.
Oh, the loves.
There
No,
you
no.
go.
Yeah, was
No,
it
you
Loves?
have to
Yeah.
turn around, but Salsa was like just buying a bag of chips, and I was like, "I got cash. Do you want a pizza?" He's
Dude,
like,
those
"Yeah, for
pizzas
sure."
are
Yeah,
just
they were.
gas station pizzas, man. Greasy
They were good.
pizzas. dude.
Guy had a gas station burger last weekend and fucked him
Oh,
up.
dude, I was telling Danny how I sat in the car like for like fucking 7-8 minutes just eating my burger. You know, while you sat there, you're like you look frustrated. I was like, I'll be finishing a bit, bro. I promise you.
It's like you're just like
God.
sustenance.
So
It's
are
not
you?
even
Wait, are you
taste.
trying to say that you did this
It
intentionally?
was not intentionally. I
No,
promise
he
you.
sat there eating his burger.
But I sat there and I took a while.
and I was
Usually
just
I eat
waiting
fast, but
because Danny's like, "Where are you? Where
I
are
didn't
you? Where
wanna
are
choke
you?"
on that burger.
And I'm just being silent, but the fucking air's not on,
Oh,
and it's just hot in the fucking car.
Wow, He was all
so
sweaty.
I
He was
open up the
sweaty.
door and I just leave it open like that, and I'm just waiting
was into the
silently.
burger.
And this guy's just eating his little burger, and I'm like,
That's the equivalent.
You
of
can't just
locking-
turn on the car so we can get some air, dude.
That's the equivalent of
I
you
didn't give a
farting,
shit. I didn't
of you
give a
farting
shit.
and turning the heater
It might have
on.
been
Dude,
high. I
that's
don't remember.
The most
Yeah,
uncomfortable thing to watch is somebody
Allegedly.
eating and they sweat while they eat. It's like the most uncomfortable.
I don't
It's
get
like,
the-
dude,
I don't get the
they're
meat
just
sweats.
eating and just like
I don't get the meat sweats,
Got the shakes.
but
it's fighting the shakes. Yeah, so I had
So-
to use the bathroom, and then I flushed. I courtesy flushed,
And then,
and then I screamed
Why?
because apparently the shit went all the way up, dude.
The water just started floating
The
up.
toilet was clogged.
Yeah, it was clogged, but there was no sign. Nobody put a fucking sign.
okay, now,
courtesy.
are you done? Because let me tell you what happened.
Well, no, I'm not done. So I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on.
You didn't know the water was rising.
Well, guess what part of my body touched the water first?
What?
Your dick.
Yeah,
Was it your dick or your balls?
my dick.
Oh my god.
Man, it's so gross, dude. It's like a dipstick, man.
Let me tell you.
You're
And
like-
I fucking screamed. I screamed after they told us not to be quiet. You know, waking people
What
up.
kind of scream was it? Was it like the
No, it
goat
was,
scream?
it was like a blood-curdling scream to the point where I think Aaron ran to the door. Somebody ran to the door, and they were like, "Charlie, are you all right? Are you all right?" And I was in shock. I was like, "Hold on. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get your shit together. I'm trying to
get his shit together.
No, it's not even the worst part of the story, man. So the sink didn't work.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Of course it didn't.
the sink didn't work.
So after,
So I literally had to fucking like jump in the shower and I don't know, just scrub away. Went to the
man.
doctor afterwards, got all sorts of tests.
Nice.
Came back clean.
Did the poop overflow out of the toilet onto the floor?
No, but it was all over my dick. Oh, it's horrible.
all right.
So
So,
what was the
So
first thing Aaron
I-
told
so
you?
I-
So the
no,
moral
no.
of the story is
stop dumping your mic. dude.
You got to twist the little end.
you
right
gotta
it's broken.
you got to flush before
Yeah.
if it's a strange toilet,
there. Yeah.
so that doesn't happen to you.
So
I think Danny's. the
I
one that
want you to
plugged
know that I love you. Okay, I really, really
What?
do. I really do. But this is what happened. This is going into that. So we're driving to Bisbee, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta take a shit." Okay. So we get to the hotel, and Jake's like, "Yeah, hold on, they're getting the rooms," and I'm in the back like, "I gotta go." So I go up the stairs, and I see the restroom. I'm like, "Yes, glory." Okay. So I was like, "Fuck it," but then I thought to myself, I sat and I go, "Wait up, it's kind of old." I'm not even. First of all, I told myself I'm not even gonna attempt to fucking courtesy flush. Fuck
When,
these
when you thought
fools.
something was old, you
They
talking
could
about the toilet?
they could smell it. Yeah, the whole building.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck these fools. They could smell it. No courtesy flush. I'm not flushing until I get up. But something told me not to. So I was like, fuck that. I'm not even gonna do it.
Do
I
you,
also
do you stand when you wipe?
no. I also went to the sink and
I
opened
do.
it, and it did not go on.
I stand.
I
when
didn't
wipe.
say shit.
It's
You
kinda
didn't
weird.
say shit.
I didn't say shit. I set you up for failure,
heard
but I
it's
didn't
gonna
know it
come
was
though.
gonna
You
be
know that's
you.
gonna come back, right? You know that's gonna come back.
It's already come back.
you up
Hold
for
on,
failure.
hold on. So I leave, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hold it. I'm just gonna hold it. I'm just gonna hold it. Hopefully, Josh and them are here in their hotel, which is when we got to that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'll call them right now, whatever. There was no cell phone. There was no
Reception,
no
yeah.
reception. Remember? So we had to wait, and then they came through, and I was like, hey, wait, take me to your hotel right quick. I told Frank. He's like, yeah, wait, come on. You go take a shit all day over there if you want. I was like, for sure. But before me and him talked, you had already the shit.
It was horrible, man.
The shit had already happened. I heard
shit hit
the
the
scream.
fan.
I
The
heard the
shit had already
scream.
gone.
Yo. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Ran out of a little bit of memory. But back to the story. So I left you hanging. I ran down the stairs. But at that moment, when I walked down, Aaron was still standing at the door. Yeah, you need to move in, Charlie, because I can't see your sexy ass.
Get in here.
This is very important, too, by the way. Like I said, the shit went down. Me and Aaron were standing there, but I ran down the stairs like a little kid, like, oh, he's going to find out, whatever. But Aaron named you something.
What do you name him?
What did he name you?
What did he name me?
You don't
I'm not
remember.
gonna say it.
Well, and then the worst part about it is he named him this, and then he just kept talking about it all damn day.
Yeah, fuck you, Aaron.
He named Charlie Shit Dick.
Hey, shit, dick.
But God, I mean, Aaron's the kind of person that he don't stop. So he did this all night long.
He's relentless. He's relentless.
He
It
did
was
this
pretty funny.
He did this all night long, and Charlie at the end of the night was like, "Hey, dude, like, ya estuvo, güey, ya estuvo." But in the morning, we were gonna get in the van, and I was like, I'm driving first, and we had all like, hey guys, let's let the shit dick shit die, yeah, everybody. It was everybody. It was Chusma and Blue Throne, and fucking Aaron in the front seat. Hurry up, shit dick, let's go. But
It's so bad, man.
but I woke up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. after we tried to go to sleep, and you fuckers were in the little.
They were all making fun about it, man.
Yeah, but
Well, we were getting drunk in the kitchen, and I was sitting next to Ernie, and Charlie was sitting there. And we're like just jamming like on the table, making a beat,
Freestyling.
and then we're all drunk, and then Charlie's like, "Hey man, I can rap, but I can only rap in Spanish."
It came up. I think we were all trying to rap.
It was
It
dope,
sounded
man.
fucking really cool, and then he brought up that he was like that he took a shit and then he felt the water.
That,
and
that
the
I
toilet or
no
something.
no that I impregnated the toilet.
Yeah,
That's, all,
that's what he said in
that's what I
Spanish.
rapped about.
It was fucking funny, dude.
Oh man.
So Charlie, if it makes you feel any
Life
better,
on the
man,
road.
I'll tell you a little story. You know.
Please.
Here we go.
yes.
Here we go.
All right, so check this out, man.
Forget
So-
the last story, please.
So Jake and I, one time we were at a fucking bar, dude, and I think it was Bulldogs or Joker's Pub. I don't know, one of them.
Bulldogs or Rigby's?
Rigby's, yeah. And I remember I had to take a shit, man. So I walk into the restroom and I see the toilet was full of piss and there was no toilet paper. So
That's
I was
gross.
like, "Fuck this, man! I'm not gonna take a shit here, man." So I, go outside and I'm trying to get ready to leave, man. So I get my tab and I'm telling Jake, let's go." So I'm driving Jake home, dude, and Jake lives in Horizon, so that's a good 10-minute drive.
It's a good drive from El Paso.
So since it had already been brewing at this point, man, it was ready to go, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, man!" I'm getting uncomfortable in the car.
did you tell Jake?
No, I didn't tell him anything, dude. I'm just uncomfortable and like ready to get to his house. I'm like, "Dude, let me borrow your restroom," So as we get to his house, dude, we pull up, dude, and I get out of the car, dude, and we go inside, and sure enough, dude, I'm like, "Hey, dude, let me borrow your restroom, dude." There's somebody in there.
Ooh.
I'm like, "Fuck, man!" It's Jacob's stepbrother. It's Jacob's stepbrother in there. I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
"Fuck, man." So I go outside, dude, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I'm just gonna go home and speed home, dude." But I'm turtle poking right now, dude. I'm
Turtling.
You're
turtling
dogging.
right now,
You're
dude. I'm
dogging,
prairie
yeah.
dogging it. I'm like, "Fuck, dude." So I go around the side, dude, and I take a shit in Jacob's fucking house, the side of his house, dude, right in front of his
Beautiful.
I take a shit right there, dude. I pull up my pants, and
Oh,
Jacob
man.
comes out, dude. And at that time, dude, he gave me a badass fucking Deftones windbreaker, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm over here accepting this beautiful gift from him, dude, with shit in my ass, dude. I'm like, "Fuck, dude." I'm like, "Dude, let me go inside and let me fucking wipe my ass real quick." You know what I mean? And, dude, so I go inside and, I go home with shame, dude. I'm like, "Should I tell him something, dude?" But, it's something embarrassing. I have another one, too, that
Here,
it's even worse
I'll
than
hit
that,
you.
dude.
I'll hit you. Yeah.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on.
All right.
There's a new thing that I wanna try on the podcast. It's called when keeping it real goes wrong.
This might be one of those.
And
actually.
that's I'm gonna lead you on to a segue, and I want you to tell me your story, and I'm gonna tell you another story, and after that you're gonna tell me yours, and then if you have one, we'll tell that.
Sort of how Dave Chappelle does it, right?
Dave Chappelle, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's Dave Chappelle's bit. Dave Chappelle's the when keeping it real goes wrong. That's exactly what that is.
Damn, I don't. You want me to tell my shit story or that story? Because
Whatever story you want.
well, the shit story I was gonna tell you was the same thing. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to do that, I could tell my story real quick, and then you could think of it.
All right.
Tell me your shit
No, I was
story.
just
Tell
gonna tell
me
you
your
the
shit
shit story. I like for all of you to know, I was working out in Lubbock for about a year, a little
Yeah.
more. But between the towns, there's like nothing, right? You go from Hobbs, and then to Carlsbad, and from Carlsbad to Brownfield, there was like nothing. And even if you go to a town, there's nothing open. But this one time, I came back home and I had gotten really fucked up, like the whole 3-4 days that I was here. So I left and I was like, God, dude, the cruda all the way through, like crying, like, oh, it sucks, dude. But as I got coming out of Carlsbad, out of Hobbs, I'm sorry, there was nowhere to go, dude. And I was like, I gotta go, like it was bad, dude.
Yeah.
I ended up having to stop, and there's always trucks on the highway, so I had to stop. I literally just grabbed the back of my truck and I had to let it out. I had to. I had no choice, dude. Like, and then I get back into the truck, like, fuck, dude. Like, there's nothing to wipe. Like, fuck. I think I got a sock or something, and I just threw it there. When
Good old socks.
When I came back,
Yeah.
when I came back after my 10-day run, when I passed that little area, like and I just looked at it like, you son of a bitch, like you did this to their perfect crops. Like that's how I felt about it, but.
All right, so
All right, give us the keep it
All right.
keeping it real goes wrong.
well,
'cause I
keeping
don't
it
know
real
about
goes wrong. All right, so check this out. My cuñado and I, we were drinking at my mom's house, dude, and we were fucking getting drunk, dude. We were fucking taking shots of tequila, dude. And he tells me, he's like, "Hey, dude, let's go to McDonald's." I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah, let's go, dude." So at that time, it was probably like 2008, maybe 2009. I had a 1995 Maximum that has nothing to do with the story, but well, yeah, it does, cause he was driving.
that
so
old rag.
so he got into my fucking car, right, and we're going to McDonald's. This is the one right here off of Alameda, right in front of the Walmart.
All right.
All right, so we're at the fucking drive-thru, right, and we make our order. We wrap it around the side or whatever, and a car behind us. We're assuming that they're honking at us, so we're hearing nothing but beep, 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 right? So we're like, why are these fucking people honking at us, dude? We're fucking drunk, dude. So my cuñada tells me, he tells me in Spanish, he's like, "Este es güey, es que güey, si pitan otra vez." I'm gonna say it in English. If they honk again, we're gonna get off and say something. And I'm like, "Yeah, dog.
You guys were that
Yeah,
drunk?
yeah." You know what? So they honk again, dude, and we get out of the car, not even knowing if it was fucking them honking, right? So we go to the fucking car, and my cuñado, he goes to the driver's side, and I go to the passenger side, right? And he tells them in Spanish, of course. He's like, "You guys in a fucking hurry or what?" And then the guy didn't say shit. He had like the stone cold face, like, "Don't fuck with me, bro," type face on him, dude. So I'm like, "Oh shit, dude." And the girl's like, "No, we're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry." So you know, I get back into my car, all gangster, whatever, dude. This guy looked like a straight up fucking channel, bro. Like at this point, you would think he was part of the cartel. You know what I mean? But it was way before all that shit started happening. So like, we get back into the fucking car, dude, and then this car pulls up right next to my fucking car, and 4 guys get out, dude. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, what the fuck, dude?" So I get out, dude, and I start swinging, dude, like I'm fucking swimming, bro. I'm fucking swimming, bro, dude. I don't even know if I hit anybody, dude, but my hands hurt, so I'm pretty sure I did, dude. I know for a fact that I got hit, dude, and I got beat the fuck down, dude. They fucking threw me to the ground, started kicking me, punching me, dude. And I don't know who saved us, dude, but it was, I don't know if it was 2 big biker dudes, man. I remember they were bald and they had tattoos, and they came out and they helped us out. I'm like, "Hey, what the fuck, dude?" I had a knife on me, dude. I didn't have my glasses because they were somewhere on the floor. And I remember I got up, dude, and I get it back into the car, dude. We got our order still. I don't know if we paid or not.
I don't know if we paid or not.
Dude, but we took off, dude, and I was so hyped in the car. I was like, "I got out. You didn't get out. You know." And we were fucking driving home, dude. And then I remember getting home. I was all hyped up, talking shit and everything, dude. And I just got my ass kicked. I looked like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
So like, I remember my mom's like, "¿Qué traes, pendejo?" You know what I mean? "I'm sorry." Dude. So my mom fucking, we got back into her car, and then we went back and we picked up my glasses, and I had my little knife on the floor, dude. And I remember going to sleep and waking up the next morning and feeling all the chingazos just fucking like, oh shit, dude. It was the first moment when I realized when keeping it real goes wrong is a real thing, dude.
That shit is real.
Dude, it was fucking real, dude.
All right. Charlie's got one.
Ah, man, I don't know. In the lines of that story, I guess, I remember I was working at a pawn shop. That has nothing to do with getting my ass kicked, though. But I was working at a pawn shop. This must have been like 2014, 2013 maybe. I think it was like 2013. And I remember I went out. This is back when I used to smoke. So I went out to have a cigarette outside. And I saw this girl walking by. And she had a Radio La Chusma shirt on. And I was like, "Oh, you know Radio La Chusma? I'm in that band or whatever." So she gets close, and I'm like, "Hey, that's a nice shirt." And she looks at me, and she's like, just walks away. That put me in my place real quick. I'm like, all right, I'm not as cool as I thought I was.
Yeah, my story's not as great either. We were at this bar here in Horizon, me and my boy, and we were already fucked up. And then by that time, like, these girls came in, and they were cute and stuff. So my friend's like, "Hey, let's go talk to these girls." We're like, "All right, cool." So we started talking to them and stuff like that. And, you know, we were like, "Yeah, we've been drinking for a while. Like, we're already kind of feeling it." Like, "Oh, well, we were about to take these shots, and they're pretty fucking strong. I don't know if you guys can handle it." I'm like, "Come on,
Bitch.
We can fucking handle that shit. We don't give a fuck." They give us a shot of Bear Claw.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Now,
yeah.
Bear Claw, for people outside of El Paso,
Dude, I got my PTSD coming back right now, too.
Bear Claw is a shot of like multiple whiskeys together, about like 4 whiskeys put together, and it's just fucking horrible as shit. So I take the shot, like we all cheers and everything, all cute or whatever the fuck, all stupid. Then I take the shot, and all of a sudden,
Oh shit.
and I fucking run and I go throw up, dude. And I was like, nah, I can't talk to those girls anymore.
They fucked you up.
So it wasn't that bad, but yeah, so much for keeping it real, you know.
All right. So it's like 2000, maybe 2004, 2005, where either we graduated or we're about to graduate. And my brother Andy always used to, he just never wanted to be around, to be very unsocial. So one time I told him, you know what, stop being a bitch. We're going to go to this fucking party at the pit. You guys know where the pit was and all that, right?
Yeah.
I think I never.
Well, we went with Perry. Okay, and you know how Perry was, and he'd get drunk. Perry was the shit. He was funny
Harry
as
likes to make
fuck.
his own choices.
So yeah, he does. So we're walking out of the party, and we're walking down that dirt road, and Perry starts making fun of this dude, this cholo, and he's like, "Ah, you pussy, you can't handle it." And the guy's throwing up, and we're walking, just walking, and then over here is that, "Ah, you fucking fag, you can't handle it, you're throwing up." So me and Andy are walking behind. We're drunk. Perry's rushing. He's like, "We're gonna go smoke some shit. Let's go!" And he's running. He gets to his truck. So we keep walking, and we keep hearing people behind us, and they keep like, "Que rollo putos," and we're like, "Fuck, ¿qué onda putos? You guys are talking shit." And me and Andy are like, "No, that was him, fool." And you just see Perry peel off, takes off, and we're like, "Fuck, this fucking guy got us into some shit." So we just get in my truck, whatever, and we're driving, and I'm like, "Damn, dude, Perry almost got us jumped." And then stupid Andy, I need to take a piss. So we stopped right in front of Desert Demons the drag strip, like
Okay.
on that road.
Yeah, yeah.
As soon as we get there, we're drinking a piss, and we see cars coming fast, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude." And Andy's like, "I don't give a fuck." He was in one of those moods. "I don't give a fuck today. I'll fuck anybody up today. I don't give a shit." So the guys finally get right next to us, and Andy, of course, keeping it real. He starts, "What's up, motherfuckers?" He's yelling out the window. There's a
can
car
hear his
behind
voice
us,
already.
and
Yeah,
a car
yeah, yeah.
and a car in front of us, so they block us off, right? They block us off, so we're there. And then Andy gets out, and he's like, "Fuck you, motherfucker." So the biggest cholo gets out,
Yeah.
rips his shirt off, takes his chain
Not
off.
Hulk Hogan.
Dude, he was a big dude. But Andy's like, fuck it. He wanted to fight. He had one of those days. The guy comes up to him, and Andy just one-hitter quitter. Boom. This guy's in the air. His legs are jiggling.
Dude, I've
shaking.
been in that
So
situation
we're
before.
laughing, right? We're laughing, and Andy's running back to the truck. Remember when I had my truck? I didn't have no door handles because I had the alarm would boop,
Yeah,
all my
yeah,
doors
yeah.
out. So Andy gets in, right? Andy gets in, and for some reason the window's down. He gets in. He's like, let's go. So I hit the gas, and before I could take off, my passenger door opens, and Andy's legs go out. So he's holding onto my speakers like, oh, shit, right? They get him out. They start beating the shit out of him. I go out there, and I'm like, fuck, where's my brother? And they just start swinging, popping heads. Everyone's like, what the fuck? All these little fucking cholos or whatever. Finally, the shit goes off, whatever. Andy gets up. He's all knotted up, and the cholo gets up. After he's been knocked out this whole time, he gets up. He's like, what's up, homie? One-on-one? I'm like, you guys just jumped my brother. Like, it's cool, man. But anyways, point to the story is my brother was trying to keep it real. He got fucked up.
Yeah, he did.
Hold on.
up.
I remember one time where you tried to keep it real, and Daddy saved your ass.
What was that?
It was that one time where fucking a couple homies came over, and you got all fucking necio and you started fucking fighting with one of the homies.
What was that?
You know.
You know what, homie?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had been drinking all night, dude. All night. I swear to God, we were drinking all night and having fun. So, but it's like 4 in the morning.
Borrachos.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
But this guy, I'm not gonna say names, but this guy, he would just always fuck with me, and I just finally told him, let's get down then. Fuck it, let's get down. We're all
Oh, you got necio,
We're
dude.
drunk.
You fucking started grabbing people and pushing people and fucking throwing punches
Hey,
and
you
shit.
remember that time you got to the house and I was beating this fool up? Like I had him on the floor like 3 or 4 times, but Jake
Yeah,
was like,
oh, yeah.
just stop, dude.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, so I finally told this guy, I was like, dude, you talking a lot of shit. Let's just throw down. Fuck it. We're drunk. We started throwing down, but I don't remember. I kept telling him, I kept thinking, were we just at the bar?
You were fucking
we just at
faded.
the bar?
We weren't at the bar.
I
We were
know.
at your house the
we
whole
were at
time.
my house the whole
Whole
time.
time.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Whole
And then, but anyways, we fight. I hit him a couple times. He hits me, and he hits me in the face, and I start bleeding. So I just get up, and he was cool about it. I got up. I
So
just go to the
no,
water
no. I
hose.
at this point I break it up. I break up the fight, right? And then
Well, bleeding?
Danny's up and he's fucking out of it because he's fucking drunk and he's he was just doing some fucking extracurricular activities and shit, right? So fucking I break it up and I mean this dude keeps going, man. He keeps going, dude. He doesn't stop, right? So I fucking tell him, I was like, hey, bitch, if you want to keep fucking with him, you're gonna have to fight me, motherfucker. And he's like, all right, motherfucker, just do it. I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that, right? So I started taking off my shirt, dude, and then this motherfucker hits me right in the head, dude. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. So after I took off my shirt, I started swinging, dude. And I don't know how many times I connected on him, dude, but told me I rocked them, dude, because I don't remember because I have blacked out too. And then fucking they stopped the fight and they separated us, and then later on, I don't know if you remember. I don't remember what happened.
I just remember I was washing my nose with the water hose because I was bleeding, and then he's like, "Get in the car." So we get in his all Maxima, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He had, and we get in the car, and I remember like kind of waking up, and he's still fucking fighting, but we went to where they were at so
Yeah.
he could fight him again.
Yeah.
And then it was the coolest shit. Like they throw down, and then they were just hanging out. Like all right, cool,
Afterwards, we were
done,
like
man,
best friends,
cool.
dude.
And we all
so
did
fucking
that.
cool.
That's how boys are, dude.
Yeah.
We fight, and then we get over it. And the next day, we're fucking.
We had a
jamming
show the next
together.
day. We had a show the next day. Yeah,
Shit.
I remember it was at the
Fucking
roller rink, dude. I remember my fucking hand was swollen, dude. And it was not the roller rink. It was the
No,
roller
it wasn't.
derby. It was a roller derby thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob shows up to my house like at 4 PM.
I don't like.
Rings the doorbell. I don't even know. I can't even like get it in my head that I've been asleep this long. I'm fucking dying. I tell him, you're gonna fucking drive. On the way driving, I'm throwing up in a bag.
I get there and he's arguing with his girl, dude, and he's like, "So I fucking pissed in the closet. Who gives a fuck? Shit, I'll fucking clean it later. I don't got time for this shit right now." Like he was making her feel bad about it when he was the one that pissed in the fucking closet in the beginning.
I
He
don't-
was like, "I'll fucking figure it out. I'm sorry. What do you want me to tell you? I told you I'm sorry. Can I fix this right now? We gotta go do this shit. I'll be back." And I was like, "You want me to drive?" "Yeah, you're fucking driving." I'm like, "Okay, bro."
And I just remember all the way over there. He's driving. I'm throwing up. And then we get there, and as soon as we get there, the Bueno sisters, they were playing for us, and
Yeah,
Mario
shout
Bed is like, "Here, I brought you a Miller Lite," and I was all, "Oh, you fucking bitch." Not you, girl, but you know what I mean. Like I went and I barfed it all out, and then we're just mingling, talking to all the little
How long
skater
ago is
chicks.
this?
This is years
This
ago.
was like this is
Yeah.
2016, 17.
Yeah.
All the skater chicks are all like, "Hey guys," and I'm in the back like, "Don't talk to me." Just
I remember I was up there playing bass, dude. My hand was fucking swollen. It was just all it just like, hurt, man.
oh man, we done
Getting back
times,
to
though.
Charlie.
Good times.
Charlie, anything?
Oh yeah, hey, welcome Charlie to the podcast, everybody.
Welcome, Charlie. Charlie Chanclas.
After all, he just
Thi-
wanted me from.
Hey, this show was brought to you by Charlie Chanclas and the Cumbia Factory.
Charlie,
Damn.
I want to talk about a couple of times on the road.
on the road. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I remember hearing the stories, man. I wish I was there the whole fucking time, dude. Like every time Jake would tell me, I would imagine myself there, dude, and I was just like, man, I wish I would have experienced that with you guys.
We had some crazy times.
It's crazy because now the way things are, it doesn't. I mean, I don't even know how we're gonna do it going on in the future. I hope
Yeah,
that
yeah.
venues open up and we'll definitely like
Get back to normal.
get back. Well, I don't think
Or
there
some
ever
type
was a
of-
normal.
Some type of normal.
We had a good run, but yeah, I mean, I think why you need to. People love to see live music, So
Yeah.
I think so. But it was always fun, like going on the road, because you never knew what was gonna happen, man.
Jake, tell us some stories,
You,
man.
you
Tell us
got
some
a
stories.
special memory that you got? from mine?
Off the road. Oh man, I remember one time we stayed at this ranch outside of Albuquerque. I think we had just finished playing. Was it Denver or Santa Fe? One of those two. And we had Alex Garcia drumming. He subbed for us, and we were out in this ranch in the middle of like nowhere, dude. Like it was. I mean, like we were in a house that had a wooden stove, and this must have been like in January or February. So like it was cold. So it was like I had to get up every 3 hours to chop wood.
Yeah, dude, this dude was chopping wood, bro,
You
and
guys
he
told
was
that
like
story.
putting it in the iron stove.
the chip, or
you
the-
know,
yeah.
and we're sleeping like in the kitchen of this house because this dude, his property,
Dude, it
he
was
had his
dirty.
main house, and then he had a side house that his kids used to live in, but they weren't in there anymore. So they let us stay in there, and we're like sleeping on like an old futon mattress,
Dude, it was an old mattress.
and we have our sleeping bags, and it's literally all three of us together, like
yeah, dude, body
on
warm.
one
dude.
mattress.
With Alex and you and me.
Yeah.
And I think we were drinking whiskey or something.
Well,
and warm
we were
ourselves up.
we were
I think
drinking, and then
Things
we're
got
like,
a little heated.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
we're like,
Who
it's-
made out with who?
we're like, it's too
I want
fucking.
details.
We're like, it's too fucking cold. We might as well get drunk so we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So then I look at Charlie, and Charlie's like, he opens up his backpack, and he's got like 2 bottles.
I think it just had no.
I think you had a vodka and you had a whiskey bottle.
Fucking
maybe.
vodka, man.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes you didn't know. Like,
'Cause-
you'd get to the gig, and sometimes you didn't have time to buy any beer or anything.
No.
Yeah, you have to be
So-
prepared.
And by the time you get off,
You just throw it in a cup
like
right quick.
by the time you get off the stage, it's like already last call and stuff. So sometimes we would like buy some stuff. So,
So
if
we
you're
were
saying,
alcoholics.
So if you're saying we were coming back from Salida, then you did
I
buy that
remember.
you did buy that bottle down the street from the Victoria Club.
I just remember we stayed
remember
there, and I remember we stayed at that place in I forget the name of the town, but it's right outside of Albuquerque, and I remember it was us three in that little cabin house, and then
Yeah.
the rest of the band in the other one.
Yeah.
And it just got cold, man, and I had to get up, and then I remember that was a horrible night, man. I remember
Yeah.
I didn't get that much sleep, and then the van, I think the engine or it turns off, so I was trying to charge my phone, so I didn't get to sleep all that night, and then I got back to El Paso, and then once I turned on my phone, I had like 20 voicemails. Apparently, my dog had died.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bad one.
And I mean, he had that dog like forever.
17 years,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I mean, there was all sorts of stories on the road, man. I mean, the great thing was that you got to see some parts of the country
Yeah.
that you would not get to see. We did
Oh,
a
no.
show up in this is a cool one. We did when you were in Chusma, we went to Carbondale. Was it Carbon? No.
Carbondale is
Mountain,
it was called the Mountain Fest, and it was outside of
Aspen.
Aspen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we were
Wow.
going off some road, and beautiful. It's this road that they close during the winter because it gets so snowed.
Freezes.
Yeah, and like no
Blocked off, right? It gets
yeah, it
blocked
gets
off.
blocked off. No semis are allowed through there, even during the summer. But I mean, even in July, we went through these mountains. There's lakes. We saw like all sorts of wildlife,
Streams
streams
everywhere.
coming off the mountain. Snow in July.
That was a
on the
scary. Actually, that's a scary trail because like you could like fall off
yeah,
like
it's
real
super
quick.
small and but beautiful. And then we get to Carbondale, and the radio is on, and I hear our voices come through the radio. I didn't know it was radio. I thought it was just like we were listening to like a tape that we had
I
recorded.
think it was
or
like
something.
PBR or something. Public
NPR?
radio, NPR or whatever.
So we're driving through, and I was like, hey, is that when did we record that? Like, no, they're playing our interview on the radio. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
They had
Show up.
interviewed Ernie on the phone.
Ernie and Marco
Yeah.
on the phone. So
Marco's a trombone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
trombone player. Yeah.
So we get there. So it's a cool reception. It's a huge festival. I don't even know how many people. When we got to the stage, there was a bunch of people. I don't even know, like maybe like 5,000, 6,000 people.
Yeah.
It was crazy because you would see like people jump, and it kind of looked like a wave.
Oh, it would, dude.
And we were doing sound check, and this fucker over here was like, he was sound checking to Nacho Libre. He's
Which-
like, hey,
The song?
no, he was
Encarnacion.
give me. Is that some corn? What did you say?
Hey, Chancho, give me some sweat.
I said, hey, I like your corn.
And there's this dude in the
Send me
back.
some of that
Send me a
corn
piece of that
later.
corn.
No, there's this dude in the back
And he just held it up like.
with a piece of corn. He's all looking. Give me a piece of corn for later. The guy's like,
And we started playing, man,
Dude.
and they got down, dude.
That was
Everyone
a
started
good-
dancing like
Yeah.
immediately, dude.
that was a good festival.
So
They
it,
had,
it ended early, like at 8,
Well, they
because
had,
it was on all day long.
yeah, it had been going on all day long, but they had like they had different tents. It was catered with like vegetarian food. They had beer for the band, an oxygen bar,
Yeah.
and then they had this little Bob Marley tent where they were just passing. This is in Colorado, so they were just passing
Yeah.
weed around in a circle. And I don't know who placed that tent, but it was like there was a stream that ran right through the middle of it,
Yeah.
and people kept falling in.
So
man.
so when you're in this little room,
Like a little creek.
if
Yeah.
you step back, you're like you'll hit
You're
the
in the
water.
creek. Yeah.
So this big white dude like was getting all
Kept-
trash.
Yeah, and we
And
told
you just
everybody
step
that
back
walked in, we'd be like, "Hey, watch out for the, watch out for the creek, watch out for the little river." Yeah. Fall into it.
So we played a good show, and then we went back to our hotel, and we got dressed because it was still early, and we were feeling pretty good. And just a few of us were like, "Hey, let's go down to the bar," you know. They had like a little strip there because it's a small town. So then we all go, and we're waiting outside, like to get our licenses checked and everything. And the bouncer recognized us, like, didn't you guys just play right now? Aren't you guys RADIO La Chusma from El Paso? We're like, yeah. Like, oh man, hey guys, RADIO La Chusma's here. Remember? That's like
I
the
think
only
so.
time that's ever happened to us. Like,
It's happened a few
well, when
times.
I was with you. When I was with you guys.
But I mean, it's cool when they're fans and stuff, and they they get into the shows. But I mean, just on the road, it's different, man. It's tiring for sure because you don't know. I mean, I'm sure the more successful you are, you get hotels and all that stuff. But I mean, when you're just trying to make the gigs and get there, and You know, because it's fun to do, but it's also like as an artist, that's your shelf space. You know, if you're gonna make money, you mostly make it off of touring, playing live shows, selling your merch.
Yeah.
So your shelf space is that playing live. So you have to go out for people to know you. You can't just stay static. You know.
Do you remember when we were driving into Carbondale? We saw this big, muscly dude on a bicycle, and he was driving, and it just so happened that the passenger window was down. And Jelly leans over and goes, "Damn girl!" And the fucking guy turns around and he thought it was fucking Joel that did it, or you.
Was it? No, she thought it was Marco was sitting. I think.
Oh
it was Marco sitting in
you
the
got
passenger seat.
Marco just sitting there doing nothing, dude.
Chilling.
And Jelly sees this dude on a bicycle, so she yells out the window, "Damn girl!" And when he turns around, it's just Marco looking at her like,
Marco's there like this. Just looking at and the dude was all like, "What?" And Marco's like,
Hey, wasn't there something like, I'm not a girl, I'm a woman? He's like, damn, woman?
"Oh yeah, that was here in El Paso."
Oh, okay.
When we would come home from touring and stuff, we'd have a couple bucks on us, me and Charlie, and we're like, "Fuck it, dude! Like, let's go to Aaron's bar or something. Let's go hang out." And one time we were hanging out with Salsa Limon, and we stopped at the Circle K to get some drinks and stuff. And Joel fucking yells out the
Was
window.
that the time you guys were fighting in the car?
No.
No?
No, that's another time. Then this time, Joel sees this girl and he goes, "Damn girl," and she's like, "Girl, I'm a lady," and he's all like, "Damn lady," and she just kept walking.
"Oh man,
Oh man, that's a lot of good times.
Everybody
Man.
has some fucking.
yeah." But yeah, I mean,
Y'all
it's,
fucked up.
uh,
I'm fucked up right now. Dude. I'm feeling pretty
What do
good
you
right now.
remember
faded
from being
right
on the
now?
road?
I'm
with,
fucking fit as
with
shit.
Chusma?
Are you? Oh, it's because you had an IPA.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good shows, man. In Denver, our shows in Denver were always really cool. Back when I was with you guys, we got to headline the Palette Fest
That
one
was
year.
pretty cool. Oh, that was the easiest show ever, man.
Yeah, dude.
We played like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
But
And,
was that the show where your keyboard got too hot or something?
No, it started raining.
Oh yeah.
It started raining, and they got us off the stage because they didn't want us to get electrocuted. But excuse me, we got paid. We got paid like we played the full set,
Yeah.
and it was like 25, or not even. It was like maybe 30, 40 minutes. But that was cool. That was super cool.
They had a backstage for us too, like kind of like a little area just for musicians. And I remember that they had that Breckenridge porter, and it tasted. It was a coconut porter, and it tasted like chocolate when you drank it.
What the
And we were like, "Fuck, that shit's fucking good." And remember, my cousin Marco was there, and I told Marco, "Hey man, try this beer out." And he tried it, and he was like, "Oh fuck." You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
We killed that little keg.
I remember
they only brought a little keg of it, and we fucking killed
I
it.
had a good beer, and then somebody switched it out with like a green chili beer.
What the
Not cool, man.
That's like eating that's like eating. That's like drinking one of those drinks at was it Austin? No, San Antonio.
It wasn't good.
Those bacon sodas.
Whoever's
and shit like
putting
that.
chili in their beer. What are you thinking?
Well,
I want to
yeah.
try that chili chocolate.
You
bro. I
know,
heard
you know
some-
what though? At the is it Black Market or the one over there where we work? They have this little like a tequila with jalapeno, and like
Yeah.
I cannot remember what
Like
it
a
is.
farmer's
It's in a
market?
copper cup, and I thought the same thing, but that shit.
I could see liquor. I could see liquor.
It was really
like I make a martini with they sell it at Specs. It's like this these long red pepper olives, and you put a little bit of the olive juice in it, and with vermouth, and it tastes like really good. But I mean, like beer, you kind of like sip on beer, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just I don't know. That's my taste.
I loved when we played at Fibark, the Fibark Fest.
Oh man, that was
in
crazy,
Salida.
dude.
Shout out to all our peeps.
That's
from
when
Salida.
I broke my keyboard.
Molly and Tim and everybody. Yeah.
And the key went flying. Somebody picked it up. We're like, oh, I got a key.
I remember for the longest time, Joel had the fucking key on the board. It's just
One
so
sticking
like,
up.
dude, when
One
you
was
get that fixed,
on the cord.
it was just
No, but that fucker, what he did was he put it down and then he put a piece of tape. So he knows where he's at, obviously. But when he had to push that one, he had to leave the tape a little loose so it would go down.
It was all snaggletooth.
Fucking limon, dude.
we had some good times out there, and where we stayed in an old school brothel there
Yeah,
too.
that was a pretty crazy place.
It was right above the bar,
Vic.
the Victoria.
Yeah, if you guys ever head out to Colorado,
Yeah.
head out to Salida.
Salida's awesome.
It's Salida, Salida, but
Yep.
they pronounce it Salida.
Salida.
And there's a cool little bar called the Vic
Oh man, that's awesome.
That place is awesome. And
Big shout out.
yeah.
I'd love to go play with her again.
Oh yeah, Molly, and Tim.
Tim, dude.
They run the place. It's awesome.
Molly, I knew her a couple years ago, dude.
We so this Fibbark Festival is like a bunch of dudes like in
It's
canoe. What? No, not a canoe. What are they called?
First and Boating Arkansas River, something like
Yeah.
that. And they do kayaking.
Yeah, they get in
month
these
of,
little kayaks, dude, and we saw this dude in one. It's like a little mini one like that. And like he just like bounced up
Dude,
and
they do
he
flips.
flipped,
Yeah,
dude.
they
He
do all
flipped
this
in the water. I was like,
and,
oh,
and
shit.
I think there's like at least 2 or 3 people drown every time they have that festival. Like for real, yeah. And it gets
Wow.
packed. Like that town is maybe like I don't even know, like maybe 4 or 5
Picture,
thousand
picture
people.
Bisbee. Picture
Just
Bisbee.
tiny town,
Picture.
and
It's
it doubles
bad.
in size.
But with water everywhere.
It do-
Like a gremlin.
But with like rivers everywhere.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, dude.
But yeah, I mean, like, I hope we get to go out on the road, and you guys too. You guys, I
Yeah,
hope
that'd
you
be
guys
cool, man.
Get to hit those spots.
So then, I want to talk to you about Radio La Chusma's music. What are you guys doing right now? What do you guys got going on? You guys got some content that you recently released, and you got some stuff that is in the works that it's about to be released. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, we've been working on a new album, and you know, it's we're at the point where we're about to release it. It's at the very end. We got a few songs right now that I think we got Big Money. We put out a video for that.
Yes.
And
was dope.
that
It was dope, man.
Yeah, that video we recorded actually here at the Loya farm in San Elizario.
Sweet.
And I think that's a very important song, especially for the times right now, where you see a lot of big government, big money. You know, people with money trying to vest interests and take advantage of people that can't really do too much about that. You have here in El Paso. I mean, you have what's going on in Duranguito,
Yeah.
and which is in downtown El Paso, and then you have like the government taking land
Yeah.
from privately owned land and placing, you know, pipelines and stuff like that on there. But
So for the people who've never heard you guys play before, how would you guys describe your particular sound? And what is the motivation behind your specific sound?
you know what? It's a mixture of I would say like reggae. You got a lot of Cuban in it. You got you got rock. There's so many different influences that everybody brings to the table. I think that's the main thing with Radio La Chusma is you got like your cumbia mixed with like reggae.
Yeah.
And you got you know
Afro-Cuban
you got
beats.
Afro-Cuban beats. You got some funk in there. You got a lot of stuff. And when Ernie, and I know you guys are gonna have Ernie on the podcast, so
Yeah, next week.
He'll enlighten you more with the story of
Yeah.
Chusma. But when I joined, they had a particular sound already that had been cultivated by the previous members. And with Ernie, you know, he was out in Cali and he was doing music projects out there and stuff. He brought it over here, and a big part of it is reggae. So
Yeah.
you get a border town and you get all these different musical influences. I mean, I'm sure you guys living here, you know, you've listened to Selena, to
Oh, yeah.
Los Tigres del Norte, you know, Cadetes de Linares, all that stuff. You know, we live in that melting pot where you.
But
you
like
hear-
growing up, I always thought that song was from Mexico, dude. I had no idea Selena was, you know, American. You know, those Reileros were American, dude. I was, or
Yeah, yeah.
most of them are American, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
started off in Ojinaga, but
Yeah.
they're here in El Paso and Las Cruces.
Bobby Polido.
Yeah, so you
That's
get
crazy shit, yeah.
this melting pot here, and I'm sure it happens anywhere where there's a border, where you get two cultures, and especially in these recent times where there's a lot of divide between, you know, like border policies and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
You
So
guys have coined the phrase "frontera reggae."
that's actually what I was gonna mention. So you get reggae, and I mean, if you know like Bob Marley, and you know how reggae started, and even going back, you know, before Bob, you get that he was singing for a sense of like equality, freedom, peace.
Oh yeah.
You know, and those are points, those are truths, I think, that speak to our culture in a way where we have seen some oppression. I know my grandpa. He was in Fabens, and when he
Yeah.
was growing up,
Shout out to Chicle.
El Chicle, yeah, Victor Ortiz. He
Yeah.
was in Fabens growing up, and he would tell me that when he would speak in Spanish, they would, I guess I don't know if it was a spank or
They would hit them when they were kids. Yeah.
because they weren't allowed to. They had segregated bathrooms,
Yep.
and we don't think about that a lot in a sense because we don't see it too much, especially right now with the internet. Everything's
Yeah.
so connected. Back then, I mean, you heard it and it happened, and it was just the way life is, and it wasn't that long ago. Like it was my
That's
grandpa.
the thing. When people think about segregation, they think from a long time ago. But yeah, like your grandfather went through it. My dad actually, when he was in elementary school, he went to a segregated school where he couldn't go to school with whites.
Yeah, so you have that, and I think that message with reggae. I mean, our songs are they're very uplifting, but at the same time they're very sobering. If you get a chance, look up Big Money.
Yeah.
And it talks a lot about those issues, and I think when I don't even know how that term started, but just frontera reggae, and you listen to it, and then you hear the reggae, but at the same time you hear those other influences.
Well, that one song, Cruzando la Frontera, like that
Cruzando la
song.
Frontera.
That song always was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Like,
Cruzando is a good song. It's actually won some awards, International Music Award.
Yeah.
I think it won, and yeah, it's truth too about people trying to cross the border, trying to find a better life
to
over
make
here.
a living.
Yeah, and I mean it's crazy because I understand, I understand when people say that there should be a process in immigration to
Yeah.
bring people in and stuff, but at the same time, I mean I don't think a lot of these people realize the hell that that these people coming over are actually going through.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people have it easy. You get people from like Juarez that are like engineers or doctors. They apply for a visa, they get over, and they do it legally. But then you get people that are like, human trafficked that are in this
And
trying
come
to
over
escape.
with
Yeah.
a coyote.
Trying to escape all that, and the coyotes aren't that nice either, man. I mean, it's a really complicated picture to paint.
This kid I met from Guatemala, like he said that it cost him about like $5,000, like to get to pay the coyote. So I asked him, how much is $5,000 to you guys? And he's like, it's equivalent to like $30,000 to me.
It's
Yeah.
crazy,
Shit.
like people over there make like $80 a week.
Yeah.
And we make like $80 a day if you have a good job, So it's definitely one of those things. It's a polarizing subject for sure. But something that I know that I was just reading that's happening is I think the president is taking advantage of a. Well, I wouldn't even say taking advantage. He's
Which
just
president?
using
Our
President
president?
Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, right now. Of a war policy that was enacted in 1944 to deport kids without I'm not saying he's physically doing it himself, but the government that's our government right now is doing that, and they don't notify their family members. They just deport them. I don't know if it's because they can't get a hold of the family members or whatever, but under this act they can deport the kids because they pose a threat that they might have COVID or whatever. But in these centers, I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the detention centers. It's horrible.
Yeah, some
man.
of them were actually even constructed like underneath like bridges here,
And
like
yeah,
with,
you
with
get
fences
these,
and stuff.
These kids that are stuck in this ideological war between adults, and I mean these kids. I mean, when you're a kid, man, you're a kid. You don't know any better. Your brain's still developing,
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring light to that, and I know some of our songs do touch on subjects like that. But then we have songs too that get you up and dance.
Yeah.
So
Like
Adelante.
Adelante is a good one.
That's one of my favorite key lines, by the way. I know you didn't,
I like
you didn't make that one.
Yeah.
I like La Bruja.
Bruja's a cover that we do.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
That's a
Me and
good
him
one.
are always singing at work.
Go ahead.
What is it called?
Working on the night
Working on
shift.
the night shift. Working on the night shift.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I'm just a worker. We
I
always
mean,
doing that shit to each
yeah,
other,
I mean,
so.
like, there's there's so many. You can check them out. It's on Mex FM, Mex
Yeah.
M, and
That's
Rasta
the,
Mexica.
I was
Yeah.
actually
Those
gonna
are the
ask
two.
you
Where do you
that.
find
I
those?
didn't-
Are they on Apple Music and Spotify?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
on Apple
right?
They're on Apple, on Spotify.
Yeah.
I think you could get them on what's it called? CD Baby. I think you can still.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we print them still, but I know you could download them digitally.
Do you,
Online.
talk about that trolley session, man? Did you guys
Oh,
just
that
throw
was
that
cool
out?
as shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We did the trolley session, and we had Justin Leia running sound, and he did an amazing job. That was
Yeah.
really fun. That was
That was super cool,
It looked
man.
cool, man.
You
guys
guys
were all
are just
bouncing
driving around
It
in a
was-
trolley car
It
downtown,
was, yeah, it was.
and there's people in there. They're
Yeah.
like, were they just like going somewhere, or were they actually there just to see the show?
They were just there to see the show. They pull out a special trolley
Yeah.
that doesn't have the back, I guess they take some seats out.
Oh, okay.
And they have more space for it. Because those things are tiny, man. I don't know if you saw the video, but
Yeah, that's what I'm
we're
telling
just
you.
cramped
You guys
up.
were
Yeah.
bouncing around, but it looked
Yeah.
cool.
Hey,
That's
it's funny, man. Ernie got up a few times, and the trolley would break, and you just hear Ernie go, oh. Just take a dip, man.
That's cool, man. So we had a good time with you, Charlie, man. We want to appreciate you for coming out and helping us out here with our
Sure, dude.
podcast, brother. We're big fans of you guys. We owe all of our sound and everything to you guys. You helped me learn reggae and cumbias too, and
I mean, I'm glad. I think, Chusma's been around. I joined Chusma in 2012. Chusma's been around before me. But it's great to see, all these other bands. You got Dulce Mal,
Yeah.
you got Los Chucanos, you got Frontera Boogaloo.
Yeah.
You get all these bands that are taking these roots, and not necessarily so much reggae, but you take the Afro-Cuban roots, and because that's where music, that's where humanity started. It's in
Yeah.
Africa, and it's very nice to see that we got local bands and talented musicians, man.
hell yeah.
Coming up with getting back to the roots of who they are. And I mean, it all depends, man, because I'm sure Los Chucanos your sound has evolved
Yes.
over time, and it depends on the influences, who you're listening to, and what
Yeah.
ideas you're getting.
Exactly. Do you guys have any final thoughts for Charly Rock?
No, I'm.
I think it was good. I
Oh.
love your trenzas.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
It was a good
really
episode.
good
they used to be
episode.
longer, man.
Also,
I cut
too,
'em.
I want to say thank you for recording on what's the name of the song?
Oh yeah, you can. Actually, we recorded "Hometown Prayer,"
Hometown Prayer.
Yeah,
which
you
is a
can
song
do.
that we wrote for August 3rd for the victims of the Walmart shooting, and I just called Charlie like, "Hey man, I need some keys on this song. Would you be down?" He was like, "No problem," and he just came through. So that was
All day,
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was fun.
Yeah,
We're
look
gonna-
out for our new album. We're gonna drop
Yeah.
it pretty soon.
Do you know
check
what it's
us
called
out.
yet, or not yet?
Yes, I do.
If you
man.
can't say it, you can't say it.
No, I
It's cool.
can, but I forgot.
We'll ask
All
you
right,
anything next
we'll
week.
ask
Yeah,
you
yeah, no,
next
and
week,
it's at
man.
the tip of my tongue. It's like one of those things where like you want to say.
Yeah,
it,
you're
and
on the
I sort of-
spot, and yeah, it's
Yeah. It's Rasta. Oh man, Rasta. Man, Ernie's gonna kill me.
It's gonna hit you.
Look,
when you get
look,
to
hold
look
on.
at it.
While you're thinking about it, because this is a question I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Rasta Mexica, what does it mean?
Dude, I was gonna ask Ernie that.
I know that, but
Yeah.
it's just that he talked about it right now. So,
Well,
would you like to tell us, or you want to let?
Well, I
Ernie
mean,
tell
I don't
us?
know. I don't know.
What do you take
why,
from it?
I don't know why Ernie wrote the song because that song was there when I already joined. But
Yeah.
Rasta Mexica. I mean, the Mexica is
Us.
it's a group from Mexico, the Aztecs.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, that's the group from Mexico, and Rasta, the Rastas. from
Rastafarians.
Rastafarians.
Rastafarian. Yeah.
So he's just talking about
He's just-
combining the
he's
two
combining-
worlds.
Yeah, like a.
Yeah. And you can hear it in the song too. But yeah, dude, we're gonna have to put the song in the comments because.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
the-
Yeah,
the
well, in the
album, yeah,
description.
Yeah, for sure,
we got it.
absolutely.
But
we
it
could definitely
is
do
coming
that.
out. We've been working on it for a while. We've had a good amount of.
If you want to text me the link,
musicians.
I'll add it to the
Yeah,
description.
for sure. We had a bunch of local musicians help us out,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So hopefully you guys can hear it, jam out with us, and hopefully we'll take a hold on all this
Yeah.
COVID and figure out how it's gonna do for the music scene. If you guys can, I mean, we touched up on it, but there's a lot of local people to support here.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of local businesses. If you get Jurado Produce. I don't know if
Yeah.
you got- heard of those guys, but they're local. Buy produce from them. They have
Siki's.
Siki's.
Yeah.
You got
Siki's Meat Market.
you got
Was
some
it Silva's downtown? Was it Silva's?
La
Any-
Pila, Chico's Tacos.
yeah, anything
Yep.
you could buy
King,
local.
Trap and Crab, yeah.
Try and do local
Yeah,
before you
Traffic
do big chain.
Kedama.
You
Yeah.
know?
Damn,
Kaidama's
girl.
is
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that place is
Yeah,
good.
guys, please think local before you think anything else.
And,
I'm not trying to be mean, but fuck Walmart and all that. I mean, I'm just saying, buy your stuff
they've
from people
provided
that are
service
pulling.
and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I'm not talking down on them. It's just that they're
but-
corporate. Like they have money, they'll be fine.
Yeah, And
It's
I
the
mean,
locals that we need to
I
take
know
care of.
people have really politicized wearing a mask and not wearing a mask, but I think
I'm doing it for other people, man.
Yeah.
I you know, like that's if it makes them comfortable, then I'm gonna wear the mask. You know what I mean? That's why I wear the mask.
the golden rule, I think, is love. Love is the greatest. I think we can agree on that. And if you're doing something like that, do it out of love for your neighbor. And I mean, let's be smart about it, guys. Don't. We are all in different situations. We all have family that can be susceptible to getting sick. I mean, I've had friends that are sick, so I know this isn't a lie. I don't know what people think about the media. I'm not part of the media or anything like that. But I think if we could be self-conscious, if you guys are gonna go out to eat, you know, be smart about it. Wash your hands. You know, don't touch your face. If you're gonna be in a big group of people, you know, you're not trying to get control. Just wear a mask. Be courteous. You know, if you're gonna go out to party, you know, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
You know, don't get in fights like
Yeah,
these
everybody
guys.
just needs to.
Yeah,
Everybody just needs to be more
I was in my
accountable.
early 20s.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
And with that, we'll go ahead and end on that beautiful note. Do you have anything else to?
No, thank you guys for having me. I haven't seen you guys in forever.
This
I
was
know,
great,
man.
dude. I
It'd be
can't
cool,
wait
man.
till the next time we have you on the
Yeah,
podcast.
this is
man.
the last
I'll be
time,
back.
dude. You're definitely
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah,
man.
I wanna
We got
talk
plenty
about-
of
Reoccurring.
stories.
Hell yeah, dude.
We gotta talk about. We just touched the tip on a bunch of stuff, so we
Yep.
gotta.
Well, be prepared because next time we're
Speaking
gonna.
about just a tip, dude, I was at the mall earlier today, dude.
Good.
Dude, they had this badass fucking Halloween T-shirt with Michael Myers, dude, and he had the knife, and it just said just a tip,
Tip.
and I'm like, I want that, dude, but they only had smalls and mediums. I was like, fuck
Well,
this place, man.
Well, be prepared next time because we're gonna have some beats made for you, so you
Ooh.
can throw
So I
your,
could do
so you
this.
can throw
Oh,
your
man, you
Spanish. Your
Hell
Spanish
yeah.
raps,
No,
dude.
no, hey, does Ernie flow? We'll throw a fucking beat
I
out
I
for
don't,
Ernie
dude,
and see you good.
no. What we can do is make like a cool little reggae song for Ernie and see if
I
he can
got
get
it.
down with it.
We'll figure some
I
stuff
got
out.
it,
We
Jim.
want to set up a Patreon. It'd be really cool to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, once again, this is the Chucano podcast. Want to thank again Charly Rrock from Radio La Chusma coming on here. We got Ernie from Radio La Chusma coming on next week, and we hope you guys like and subscribe to the page. We're just trying to introduce you guys to everybody in the scene here in El Paso, and we hope that by you getting to know all these guys and everybody and girls and musicians and everybody, we're hoping that we could all bring the community together and start supporting one another. So, with that note, happy Memorial Day, guys. We'll see you.
Have
Peace.
Peace. That was a good episode.